Chapter 529. You're not qualified. Boom, boom. Two terrifying auras burst out from the ground. Sima Yu's strength caused the entire arena to explode. It had to be said that this was an expert on par with drunken mortal dust. Furthermore, he had his own strongest technique. Chun Hao naturally knew that his actions had attracted the attention of many experts. He wanted to explain himself, but of course, he wanted to let the audience hear him. However, after seeing this guy's performance, he knew that any explanation would be useless. He would fight. Why do I need you to understand my actions? Why do I need you to understand my Tao? More than 9,000 battles, 6 months of time. Now was the time to test his gains. Now was the time to stop restricting himself and unleash his full potential. In an instant, in just an instant, Sima Feng, who surpassed Chun Hao in both aura and true essence, had countless openings in Chun Hao's eyes. In fact, the moment Sima Feng attacked with his sword, Chun Hao had already grasped all of his possible trajectories. And it was also at this moment that Chun Hao stabbed out with his sword, erupting with a resplendent sword light. Sima Yu Feng immediately felt as if his weak point had been locked down. The thousands of sharp changes in this attack seemed to have been sealed. However, his battle experience from hundreds of battles allowed him to make the best decision. Boom! Pooh! Pooh! An explosion. Two sounds that penetrated flesh rang out in the audience's ears. Immediately, two rays of blood shot out. One was Chun Hao's, and the other was Sima Yu's. No one expected the battle to end so quickly, and no one expected the two to fight with their lives on the line. No one expected that the so-called expert, the expert who fought with anger, Sima Yu, would not even have a chance to let out a final roar before turning into a ray of white light. As for Chun Hao, there was only a transparent hole above his heart. It was a classic case of self-inflicted losses of 800 to the enemy's 1,000. However, the calmness, sharpness, and arrogance he displayed had shattered everyone's understanding of Chun Hao. Next, Chun Hao ordered. A ray of white light flashed. Under the protection of the natural order, Chun Hao was once again unharmed. At the same time, below the arena, a powerful aura rose into the air again. Voila! After being silent for nearly half a year, the surroundings of the entire arena once again erupted into a frenzy. Half a year had passed, and Chun Hao had intentionally suppressed his strength during his battles, causing everyone to forget about the wild and violent nature he had displayed during his battle with Drunken Mortal. Until now, Chun Hao's cold and merciless sword had appeared once again. One move. It was still one move. One move again. Today, half a year later, Chun Hao seemed to have transformed into the most precise killing machine. No matter who his opponent was, no matter how strong his opponent was, no matter how profound their ultimate techniques were, no matter how ever-changing they were, and no matter how many killing moves they were hiding, in Chun Hao's eyes, they all seemed to have become transparent and had nowhere to hide. His sword was like the scythe of the Grim Reaper, simple and smooth, but cunning and merciless. This sudden change increased the efficiency of the battle by 100 times. Everyone was stunned, including all the noisy experts. They all stared with their eyes wide open and no longer made any sound. All they could do was stare at the arena, at the cold and arrogant figure. The two old men in charge of Arena 132 were equally shocked. Even they did not expect that, after half a year, Chun Hao would explode with such wildness and coldness. The opponents they had chosen for Chun Hao were indeed opponents that Chun Hao could defeat, but they would definitely be opponents that would be difficult to defeat. Just like drunken mortal dust, Chun Hao could only rely on continuous use of his ultimate art to defeat his opponent. But now what did they see? They seemed to have underestimated Chun Hao's strongest strength from the very beginning. This was what they thought. In fact, they did not underestimate Chun Hao's strength, but underestimated Chun Hao's speed of growth. That was all. 10 matches, 50 matches, 100 matches. One by one, the experts came to the arena and disappeared quickly. None of the battles lasted more than 1 minute. Similarly, Chun Hao gave up all the intermission time. This speed, this wildness, this fierceness, this insufferably cold, although the strength he showed was still at the human celestial stage, it made people feel that he was a peerless swordsman. 200 matches, 300 matches, 700 matches, 800 matches. As the battles went on, in just a little more than a day, there were 800 matches with an average of about 2 minutes per match. Finally, this speed began to slow down as the opponents became more and more powerful. But this moment of slowing down didn't make anyone complain. In fact, it was exactly what they wished for. At this time, the number of people who entered the arena to watch the battles reached an unprecedented climax. At the beginning of each match, countless cultivators disappeared around the arena. Tens of thousands? That was the least. Until now, everyone really recognized the strength of Chun Hao. Even if he lost now, he was destined to become a legend in the arena, a real top expert. Phew, this is a real battle. This is what I call cool. Come on, I want to see how much my combat record can be improved. After killing another expert, Chun Hao's eyes, which were as bright as stars, were shining with unprecedented combat intent. The onlookers were satisfied, and so was Chun Hao. This was a test of his comprehension of more than 9,000 battles. Now his progress made him very cool. Rumble. Chi. The 9,934th match was finally the turn of one of the two most famous cultivators at the initial stage of the human celestial stage, Yin Zhongjian. Yin Zhongjian had also waited for 6 months, and he had gone to the arena several times. Now it was finally his turn. The battle that he had been looking forward to for 6 months made Yin Zhongjian's fighting spirits soar to the extreme. The moment he flew into the arena, he seemed to have turned into an unsheathed sword. His sword energy was awe-inspiring, and his sword light was eerie, but it was also mysterious and ethereal. Just like his name, Yin Zhongjian. Yin Zhongjian. He is Yin Zhongjian, my idol. At the initial stage of the human celestial stage, except for Nie Xiaofeng, who is as powerful as him, no one else is a match for him. Right? His ethereal sword principle has been cultivated to a very high level. It is ever-changing and can kill people without leaving a trace. I wonder if Chun Hao can continue to fight him. It's hard to say. Chun Hao's strength is also very powerful. Although he didn't stand out in any aspect, this kind of strength is more unpredictable. Let's wait and see. However, even if he can defeat Yin Zhongjian, he won't be able to hold on for long. According to the order of the battles he chose, I guess the rest of the cultivators at the initial stage of the human celestial stage should be the incarnations of the earth celestial stage or even the heaven celestial stage. Right? After defeating Yin Zhongjian and Nie Xiaofeng, Chun Hao is basically invincible at the initial stage of the human celestial stage. Chun Hao, I have waited for you for 6 months. You are very powerful. You are also very powerful. Chun Hao sensed Yin Zhongjian's aura. Finally, a wicked smile appeared on his handsome and cold face. Those who knew Chun Hao well would know that his signature smile would only appear when he met a real opponent. It was not hard to imagine that Chun Hao's words were not a compliment. They were the truth. If you can defeat me, you are basically invincible at the initial stage of the human celestial stage on the Asianing planet. No matter you win or lose, I hope you will try your best in this battle. Of course, I will not hold back. Sorry, even if I can defeat you, I am not invincible at the initial stage of the human celestial stage. Chun Hao said when he saw Yin Zhongjian's arrogant but honest eyes. Oh, Yin Zhongjian was puzzled. My real stage is the later stage of the human celestial stage. Now I am just consolidating my combat skills. Swish! Chun Hao's words caused an uproar among the cultivators. At the same time, many people heaved a sigh of relief. No wonder he is so powerful. It turns out he is an ace at the later stage of the human celestial stage. However, the crowd was puzzled. Why didn't an ace at the later stage of the human celestial stage come to the arena? Because everyone knew Chun Hao started from zero. I see. Let's cut the crap and get started. Okay. Chi. 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 The battle was about to begin. So that's how it is. No wonder his combat skills are so strong. If that's the case, I'm a little disappointed. Below the arena, Nie Xiaofeng stared at Chun Hao, who was on the arena, as he muttered to himself. Indeed, many aces were relieved when Chun Hao told them about his real cultivation stage. Because everyone knew a cultivator at the later stage of the human celestial stage, disguised as an initial stage of the human celestial stage, was only limited by his strength. His vision, experience, and combat skills were much higher. In this way, it would not be a fair battle. At least, Chun Hao's position in the crowd's hearts was greatly reduced. However, if they knew Chun Hao had reached the later stage of the human celestial stage from the initial stage of the human celestial stage in one go without a single battle, they wouldn't think so. Chi, 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 boom, boom, chi, 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 chi. The sword in the clouds seemed to have transformed into the clouds in the sky. It was erratic and ever-changing. Every sword strike was ethereal and unfathomable. The real killer move was definitely earth-shattering. Even Chun Hao couldn't lock down the trajectory of Yun Zhongjian at this moment. Undoubtedly, Yun Zhongjian was the most powerful opponent he had encountered since the beginning of the battle. Moreover, Chun Hao was sure that if he didn't have the enlightenment from the previous 9,900 battles, he would probably lose if he encountered Yun Zhongjian directly. He integrated the ethereal sword principle into the law of clouds and fog. His power has definitely increased by several times. It's not difficult to be invincible, but it's not easy to defeat him. Unless in just half a minute, Chun Hao felt the power of Yun Zhongjian. In terms of absolute strength, he had no advantage at all. It was difficult to win, but not impossible. Second update. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 530. Cloud mist ice is a derivative of the water element. Cloud mist impermanence is ever-changing. Ethereal sword principle is also unpredictable. With the combination of these two elements and his absolute advantage in strength, I can only take the initiative and control the rhythm of the battle. It's impossible to win in a short period of time by relying on my understanding of the cloud element and ethereal sword principle. Chun Hao's 5 elements were extremely derivative, and his comprehension of the essence was very strong. In particular, he had been baptized by the original energy of the primordial space. Similarly, his secular swordsmanship was all-encompassing and could be said to be the origin of all kinds of swordsmanship. Although he had not fully comprehended it, he had already comprehended the ethereal swordsmanship. There was no doubt that the sword in the cloud was truly exquisite. It had integrated its unique skill with the 2 elements into one and reached a state of perfection. Therefore, if Chun Hao wanted to win, he had to find another shortcut. Boom! Chi 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 chi. In an instant, Chun Hao's figure split into 6. At the same time, the 6 figures did the same action. They turned around and waved their swords. Streaks of sword light streaked across the 6 light curtains and covered the entire arena. They cut violently and fiercely. Countless screams that could not be heard by the onlookers rang out in the independent realms. At this moment, even the powerful drunken mortal could not withstand the terrifying power that Chun Hao suddenly displayed and was forced to withdraw from the spectator mode. Ethereal sword principle. How many sword daos has Chun Hao mastered? Back when he was fighting drunken mortal, he used the soft sword dao and the destruction sword dao. Now, the aura he's displaying seems to be the ethereal sword dao. Isn't this too freakish? The cultivators who were baptized by the sword light and withdrew from the arena were indescribably shocked. You have also comprehended the ethereal sword principle. Not bad. Unfortunately, your realm and application are far inferior to mine. Break it. Chi chi chi. With a wave of his hand, the sword in the cloud emitted 6 streaks of sword light that were more powerful than Chun Hao's. Boom boom boom. An earth-shattering explosion of energy instantly reverberated throughout the entire arena. Pooh! Chun Hao spat out a mouthful of essence blood from the backlash of the enormous power. However, at this moment, his eyes emitted two even more resplendent rays of light. With a hiss, he completely disappeared from everyone's sight, merging with everything in the world. Although Chun Hao didn't have time to practice his carving skills during this period, he still had an amazing breakthrough in the realm of integrating everything in the world. As for him, the reason why he had sent out 6 scattered and unfavorable attacks was because he did not expect to injure the sword in the clouds. What he wanted was for the sword in the clouds to block the attacks from 6 directions at the same time so that he could accurately calculate the position of the sword in the clouds. This was Chun Hao's unique ability. It was probably an ability that the cultivators in this world would not even think of. It was the ability to calculate the opponent's position based on the time, position, and speed of the 6 swords. This was also an absolute art, a unique earthling absolute art. Science. It was a combination of satellite positioning and spatial geometry. Of course, in order for Chun Hao to do this, he had to have extremely powerful and precise senses. Now, he had seized the opportunity to lock onto the sword in the cloud's position. The sword in the clouds was shocked because he had lost track of Chun Hao's aura. You want to play concealment with me? Ha! Interesting. You are an expert. Gee. Before the sword in the clouds could finish his sentence, he shut his mouth in shock. A dazzling sword energy appeared behind him without any warning. It was very close. At this moment, an unprecedented sense of danger made his hair stand on end. He slashed out with his sword with his strongest strength and fastest speed. Boom! The violent collision of energy made Chun Hao and the sword in the clouds appear at the same time. They both rolled and retreated. Kill! Hiss! Chun Hao's ghost-like body didn't stop rolling and disappeared again. What a powerful concealment skill! At this moment, even the invincible immortal dragon Yi's pupils contracted. When the sword in the clouds was about to merge with the clouds, Chun Hao's attack came again. Fast. It could only be described as fast. The sword in the clouds could only attack hastily. Moreover, Chun Hao's attacks were continuous. The sword in the clouds could no longer control the rhythm of the battle. He could only defend himself and counterattack. Although this situation didn't affect his strength, it was impossible for him to use the ethereal sword Dao and the true essence of clouds and clouds to confuse his opponent. At this moment, the sword in the clouds finally realized how freakish Chun Hao was. Ever since he had mastered the ethereal sword Dao and the true essence of clouds and clouds and clouds, no opponent could make him feel so frustrated. He had always been the one controlling the rhythm of the battle. But now, Brother Long, I'm afraid it won't be easy for the sword in the clouds to win. It's not that it won't be easy. It's impossible. His strongest aspect is completely restrained. It can be said that this battle is under Chun Hao's control. It's just a matter of how long he can last. Even I underestimated Chun Hao's true combat strength. Brother Long, although the sword in the clouds is fighting passively, he still has the upper hand. His strength and true origin are stronger than Chun Hao's. Is he going to lose? You neglected his tenacity. Tenacity? Yes. Although Chun Hao's previous battles have been rather boring, he'd always fought with his instincts and stimulated his opponent's strongest abilities. Although I didn't know what he was doing this for, I knew that he was training himself and absorbing the strengths of many different schools of thought. More importantly, he put himself in danger every time. You saw it too. Although his physical strength is ordinary, he can withstand great damage. Also, his mental state is even stronger. His mental state is even stronger? If you were to fight a few thousand battles, would you be able to endure it? You can recover to your peak state every time you fight, but what about your mental state? Not to mention a few thousand battles, even a few hundred battles would make your hair stand on end. However, he was able to focus fully every time. Such a person's mental state is extremely strong. You can say that he's a madman. Once he's obsessed, he'll enter a state of madness. Nye Xiaofeng was shocked. He had not expected Long Yi, who was known as the Invincible Immortal, to have such a high opinion of Chun Hao. He had not expected Long Yi to see so many problems that he could not see. You have a higher chance of winning against him. Don't be discouraged. However, I do hope that you lose. Ahem, Brother Long, what do you mean? After all, we're on the same side. The reason is simple. I don't want to miss out on such an opponent. Of course, it's not a big deal if he can win. At most, I'll challenge him in the future. That's right. You can challenge him in the future anyway. Besides, he has no reason to refuse an invitation from an expert like you. Therefore, I won't go easy on him. Nie Xiaofeng said. He knew the rules of Long Yi's battles. He had to fight more battles than him. Currently, it was difficult to find a cultivator on the Asianing planet who had fought more battles than him. That was why he had not come to the arena in the past 2 months. That was 9,999 battles. How many people could reach that number? Well, go all out. It won't be long before it's your turn. Yes. If nothing goes wrong, it'll be my turn soon. Nie Xiaofeng and Sword in the Clouds were on par with each other. Nie Xiaofeng was only slightly better than Sword in the Clouds. Even if they fought, it would be difficult for Nie Xiaofeng to win. Winning 7 out of 10 battles was his limit. The battle between the two had evolved into a close-range battle. Brilliant sword light flashed, and tens of thousands of swords flew back and forth in the sky and on the ground. The intensity of the battle was far more thrilling than any of the previous battles. Under the pressure of Chun Hao's extremely sharp sword skills, Sword in the Clouds burst out with unprecedented power. He completely forgot about the fact that he could not launch a surprise attack with his strength and devoted himself to the head-on battle with Chun Hao. 10 minutes later, amid the exclamations of countless people, Chun Hao and Sword in the Clouds both fell to the ground. Neither of them turned into white light. However, Sword in the Clouds failed to stand up. Chun Hao, who stood up shakily, won the battle. It was a difficult battle, just as long he had expected. In this battle, Chun Hao asked for a 15-minute break. Sword in the Clouds, who had returned to his peak state, said awesome. Then, he sat down with his legs crossed and entered a state of cultivation. Without a doubt, both of them benefited a lot. The battles that followed became extremely difficult. Each battle lasted for more than a quarter of an hour. Chun Hao won every battle by a hair's breadth. There were no people who could really kill him. After more than 10 battles, Nie Xiaofeng finally got on the stage. Unfortunately, he, who was full of confidence and was determined to defeat Chun Hao, performed worse than Sword in the battle with Chun Hao. He was unwilling to admit defeat, but there was nothing he could do. Chun Hao's fighting style seemed to be his nemesis. He felt he had lost the battle with only 90% of his strength. He felt humiliated. Fortunately, Chun Hao had told him in advance that he was in the pseudo realm. Otherwise, he, who was known as the #1 powerhouse in the initial stage of the human celestial stage, would be humiliated. The following dozens of people were basically in the pseudo realm of the intermediate stage or the late stage of the human celestial stage. They were definitely the top figures in the intermediate stage or the late stage of the human celestial stage. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been arranged to fight after Nie Xiaofeng by the 2 old men. However, when everyone thought Chun Hao couldn't hold on for long, Chun Hao won again and again. He made his record reach a height that was enough to show disdain for all the members in the arena. He won 10,000 times, lost 0 times, and drew 0 times. Beep, beep, beep. At this moment, the crisp sound of a message rang in Chun Hao's mind. Congratulations, you have triggered the hidden condition of the arena again. You have the attribute of hiding your identity in any arena in the second world. You can also adjust your record at will and challenge the opponent you want to fight. Chun Hao's identity and record cannot be changed. More than 9,000 words. Can I cast a monthly vote? Thank you. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 531. Are you kidding me? Chun Hao was stunned. Being able to activate the hidden condition once by chance was already very, 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 very impressive. He had not expected to be able to activate it again. What made Chun Hao even more excited was that the hidden condition, which did not seem to have any substantial rewards, was actually tailor-made for him. Especially since he had already tasted the benefits of endless battles, he instantly realized how awesome this reward was for him. It was very simple. He could still fight endlessly and would not be restricted by the limit of 10 battles a day. He could fight 10 battles as long as he used a fake identity. What was the limit? The only difference was that the battle records of the fake identity did not overlap with the battle records of the real identity. In other words, the battle records of the real identity could not be changed. More importantly, Chun Hao's reward was not limited to the Asianing planet. This meant that he could disguise himself as any virtual character in the arena of any city in the secondary world and challenge anyone. This was definitely a cheat that was tailor-made for Chun Hao, who had already comprehended the pursuit of his own great Tao origin. Awesome. This is really awesome. Luckily, I lasted until the 10,000th battle. Otherwise, I would have missed out on this awesome condition. Phew, it's finally my turn. Outside the arena, the invincible immortal dragon breathed a long sigh of relief. His entire aura underwent a subtle change at that moment. His aura, which was as unfathomable as the sea, began to ripple. His loftiness was beginning to show. Brother Dragon, what's wrong with you? It's still too early for you, isn't it? Yin Zhongjian, who had already woken up from his state of comprehension, could not help but ask when he sensed the change in Long Yi's aura. He knew that Long Yi was going to challenge an opponent with 10,000 battles. However, he also knew that, given Long Yi's terrifying strength, he would definitely be ranked last before it was his turn. That was a terrifying battle record of 9,999 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. Seeing this number, how could Chun Hao dare to choose Long Yi at this time? No, it's already my turn. Long Yi's eyes shone with a bright light as he murmured. A strong battle intent also uncontrollably erupted without restraint. Around him, countless cultivators looked at him in shock. Why are you here? This was too strange. Could it be that the person behind him was even stronger than Brother Long? That's not possible. It's a bit too much of a coincidence. After all, Brother Long, you're going to fight someone who has more battles than you, and it's your turn right after they've surpassed you. Long Yi smiled, but did not answer Yin Zhongjian's question. Back then, he had triggered a hidden condition after he had obtained 3,000 wins, 0 draws, and 0 losses. Ever since then, he would only find opponents who had more wins than him. Everyone thought that this was a special hobby of his. They didn't even think about the hidden conditions, and he didn't reveal it to anyone. He only knew that when his battle record reached 10,000 wins, he would receive a reward from the arena system. He didn't know what the reward was, but he knew that it was the most suitable reward for him. This was because he had asked his master about the hidden conditions of the second world. Almost every hidden condition that was triggered and completed the mission in the end received the most suitable reward for them. He had comprehended the barrier a long time ago. The reason why he didn't trigger the heavenly punishment to advance to the Earth Celestial stage was that he had to win 10,000 battles in the human Celestial stage. Otherwise, how could he, who was known as the Invincible Celestial, confine himself to this stage? The Invincible Celestial Dragon, what a strong fighting spirit. It seems that Long Yi has also challenged Chun Hao. He, who is as lonely as snow, has finally met someone who fulfills his conditions. Yes, it's not easy. But it's not his turn yet, right? It's definitely not his turn. But Chun Hao's battle record has reached 10,000 wins, which fulfills his conditions. I'm sure he'll be excited. Countless people in the crowd were discussing this. Needless to say, Long Yi's battle record and real strength were absolutely supreme among the cultivators at the celestial stage on the Asianing planet. Even Chun Hao, who had a record of 10,000 victories, could not compare to him. My young friend Chun Hao, are you going to take a rest or start a fight? You'd better be careful in this fight. Long Yi, who is known as the Invincible Celestial, is absolutely a top figure in terms of battle record, combat strength, combat skills, and experience. If it weren't for the fact that he has the same nature as you, he would have put you in last place. Ahem. Chun Hao didn't recover from his extreme excitement until now. He said hurriedly, "We can start the fight now." Okay, I hope you can win, although it's basically impossible. Hearing the old man's last words, Chun Hao was quite depressed. Is this a F asterisk king big deal, or a slap in the face? What kind of bullsh asterisk tea is this? Gasp. Just then, Long E, who had received the order to start the fight, turned into a strand of light. His speed was not fast, as if he was strolling in the air. His aura and fighting spirit were not strong, just like at the beginning. But it was this perfect calmness that made everyone feel that he was unfathomable. Although Long E hadn't entered the arena yet, Chun Hao knew that he would be the strongest person he had ever met. Intuition. Just the look in the other party's eyes made Chun Hao feel an unprecedented threat from the depths of his soul. It was as if he was looking at an unshakable mountain, or as if he was facing an unfathomable ocean. What a strong guy. For the first time, Chun Hao's confidence in winning was a little shaken. He didn't like this feeling, but it was the truth. This was completely the absolute power and the huge gap between them, which made him feel this way. Brother Chun, hello. Long E landed on the arena. He looked calm with a faint smile, but it wasn't the kind of smile that made people feel disgusted. And the first greeting didn't have the slightest arrogance of the #1 expert in the human celestial stage. This made Chun Hao a little uncomfortable. He was a person who would never be too polite and disdain to be too polite. I'm very happy to have you here. No matter if I win or lose, I want to be friends with you. Long, he said again. Although he had the confidence to win, his words were still not arrogant or impatient. This kind of demeanor was absolutely rare in the cultivation world where the strong were respected and arrogant geniuses were everywhere. Moreover, Chun Hao could feel that Long he was really not being arrogant, but was very honest. Or it could be said that this was his nature. Ha ha. Chun Hao finally spoke. His handsome face was not so cold for the first time. He said, "It should be a good thing to have a friend like you, although I don't know you well." Same to you. Men and women can fall in love at first sight. We can also be friends at first sight. This is intuition. Haha. Yes, intuition. My intuition tells me that my chances of winning this battle are almost zero. Fortunately, your bet is not very high. Otherwise, I'll reject you. Can you give me your contact number? Mine is asterisk, 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 asterisk. Long E said through soundless communication. Mine is asterisk, 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 asterisk. While the two of them were conversing, the surrounding cultivators had decreased by more than half. Of course, they did not leave. Instead, they entered the arena to watch the battle. Everyone looked at Long E and Chun Hao. Coupled with their conversation, they felt a sense of appreciation for each other. Not only did the two of them have a terrifying record of winning all their matches, but also their extraordinarily handsome appearances and terrifying combat power. Even, perhaps it was due to the influence of the above factors, but people felt that Chun Hao and Long Yi's appearances were somewhat similar, especially from the side and back. No matter how much appreciation they had for each other, the battle was about to begin. Moreover, neither of them would hesitate, and neither of them would want to give in. A majestic and terrifying aura and a monstrous battle intent rose from the two of them and enveloped the entire arena. Not to mention the cultivators who had entered the arena to watch the battle. Even the cultivators outside the arena, who were separated by the restrictions of the arena, could feel a mountain-like pressure. Strong. Especially Long Yi's aura. It was so strong that it shocked everyone. As for Chun Hao, he was equally astonishing. That was because his aura was much stronger than any of the previous matches. Although it was still incomparable to Long E, it gave people the feeling that this guy was a natural battle maniac who became stronger when encountering a strong opponent. Bang! Bang! When the aura of the two of them reached their respective limits, two explosions finally broke out. In an instant, the distance of thousands of feet between them was crossed in a flash, and they directly confronted each other head-on. There were no excessive fancy moves, as if it was a predetermined way of fighting. Simple, direct, and straightforward. Ding, ding, bang, bang, bang. Sword, fist, palm, and leg collided with each other with unparalleled speed and ferocity. At this moment, except for the real powerhouses, No one could see the two of them clearly. It was just the beginning, but everyone had to admit that this was definitely a peak battle in the arena of the initial stage of the human celestial stage. At least in any battle that they had seen in the initial stage of the human celestial stage, it was incomparable. This Chun Hao is so strong, Nie Xiaofeng, who had entered the arena, stared at Long Yi and Chun Hao passionately, and thought to himself, I don't blame him for losing. Originally, he thought that Long Yi's victory would be as easy as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. However, he did not expect that Chun Hao, who was much weaker in terms of absolute power, would use his own power to the extreme at this moment, causing him, a bystander, to feel shocked. Chun Hao, who was completely suppressed and at a disadvantage, had no flaws in his attack and defense. The transition between hardness and softness was very smooth. Borrowing strength, neutralizing strength, and turning strength were used to the extreme. Even Long Yi didn't expect that Chun Hao could reach such a level. Strictly speaking, he had no advantage in the combat skills and fighting instincts that he was proud of. He was even at a disadvantage. With the same strength, he wouldn't be the one who had the upper hand. 12,000 plus. Can you give me a monthly ticket? I really need passion. Please, everyone. I also implore those who have the ability to support the original subscription. If you can't, you can support the first order. Thank you. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Yen. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 532. The pressure was getting heavier and heavier. Chun Hao was almost out of breath. It was a kind of spiritual restraint. Every time he defended, his body had to bear an unimaginable pressure. Every time he attacked, it was like an ant trying to shake a big tree. In front of his opponent's absolute power, he couldn't cause any damage at all. How would he feel good about this feeling? Especially as the battle went on, Long Yi became more and more courageous. The power of his body and true core strength was getting stronger and stronger. Am I really going to lose? Although Chun Hao had made this judgment a long time ago, or it could be said that his heart was shaken, the arrogant nature in his bones never allowed him to admit defeat. Even if he knew that the hope was almost zero, he would still do his best to grasp the light that basically didn't exist. Fight! Fight desperately! Chun Hao unleashed everything that he had learned and comprehended without holding back. The Thousand Transformation Profound Energy Technique, Platinum Sky, Splitting Slash, all kinds of Sword Dao wills, Heavenly Dao laws were all unleashed by Chun Hao at the right time. But even so, in front of Long Yi's powerful combat skills and absolute power, he was still unable to change his weakness. This kind of suffocation made Chun Hao clench his teeth. The fire of war in his bones was burning fiercely. Similarly, the more he fought, the stronger he became. 15 minutes. Long Yi forced Chun Hao to retreat with his sword. His bright eyes shone with a stronger fighting spirit. In the human celestial stage, no one can make me fight for more than 5 minutes. Fortunately, he has learned a lot, and he is not really proficient in one aspect. Otherwise, it would be more difficult. It is impossible for him to defeat me in terms of absolute power. But it is not easy for me to defeat him. Let's see how long he can hold on. I have no choice. I must win. After a series of crazy attacks, Long Yi, who had experienced countless battles, came to a conclusion. This battle was destined to become a war of attrition. The existence of the hidden mission left Long Yi with no choice. Otherwise, the best choice would have been to declare a draw in the current state of the battle. Otherwise, even if he won, he would feel ashamed. After all, he was most confident in his combat skills and innate fighting instinct. But he was defeated by Chun Hao in these two aspects. What was the point of relying on the advantage of strength? The prideful him disdained this kind of victory. However, the hidden mission and the condition of winning 10,000 consecutive matches required him to persevere until the end and obtain victory. Ding, ding, ding. Boom, boom. The battle lasted for half an hour. Whether it was Long Yi or Chun Hao, they both slowed down a little. The power and vital essence they released were not as violent as before. Only his fighting spirit was still soaring. It was obvious that both of them had expended a lot of energy. However, at this moment, the two of them had truly let go. A smooth and mysterious feeling began to grow in their confrontation. It was the legendary feeling of meeting one's match and fighting to one's heart's content. You want me to? Even though he was enjoying himself, Chen Hao still couldn't hold back in the end. At this moment, Long Yi's power was controlled to the same level as Chen Hao's. Although Chen Hao felt great, it was not what he wanted, so he sent a voice transmission directly. Don't misunderstand. I can't take you down by force. I'm just conserving my strength for a protracted battle. I'm sorry, but I have to win this battle. That's the only way. Long Yi could hear Chen Hao's dissatisfaction. After all, in a battle between masters, if he deliberately gave in, not only would his opponent not be grateful, but he would also think that it was disrespectful. That's good. Chen Hao said no more. His attacks instantly became fiercer and fiercer. I didn't expect this. I really didn't expect this. Chen Hao's potential is really amazing. It seems that Long Yi has the absolute advantage in this battle, but strictly speaking, Long Yi has already lost. Indeed, what Chen Hao lacked was physical strength and Zhen Yuan, and he was only a genius disciple of the Limitless Star. Moreover, he had just entered the second world. Otherwise, he would not have started from zero. He should have just stepped out of the Limitless Star, right? This means that his physical body and vital essence probably haven't undergone any transformation. With his talent, I believe that as long as he enters the Yang Star, he will definitely be favored by the top forces. At that time, it shouldn't be a problem for him to be baptized by the 10,000 spirits' holy water, right? Once his physical strength and vital essence are improved, I'm afraid it's not impossible for him to defeat Long Yi. Yes, it's really timely for the Wuji Star to have such a peerless genius. It's hard to say whether it's timely or not. Let's see how far he could develop in these few decades. The fierce struggle between factions is not that simple. The two old men in charge of the number 132 arena were watching the battle between Chen Hao and Long Yi as they discussed secretly. The two of them fought to their heart's content. The audience was also relaxed and happy. They were completely immersed in the wonderful and thrilling battle between the two of them. Before they knew it, 4 hours had passed. At this time, the movements of the two of them had completely slowed down. Their physical strength and vital essence could no longer maintain the average level of the initial stage of the human celestial stage. The onlookers suddenly realized that the two of them had been fighting for 4 hours. Everyone was incomparably shocked in their hearts. Such a long period of time was simply incomprehensible. What made them even more shocked was that although Chen Hao was in a disadvantageous position, he actually didn't repeat any of the moves he used in the past 4 hours. This was a huge contrast to Long Yi. Long Yi was performing sets of unique skills more and more smoothly. He repeated them countless times, but each time it gave people a new feeling. There was no doubt that Long Yi had a breakthrough in his understanding of his unique skills during the battle. That's it. There's no point in continuing like this. Chen Hao suddenly said, "The winner hasn't been decided yet. You have the upper hand. You should have one. If this continues, I have almost no chance of winning." Swish! To everyone's surprise, Chen Hao actually chose to admit defeat. If those who knew Chen Hao were present, they would definitely find it unbelievable. Was this still Chen Hao? But this time, he really admitted defeat. It was just that what he said was not completely true. Although he was at a disadvantage, it wasn't certain that he would lose. He couldn't predict the real outcome, but he had at least a 40% chance of winning. The reason why he didn't fight for it was because he felt Long Yi's determination to win. In addition, he found out from the two old men that Long Yi had triggered the hidden condition. Also, Long Yi himself said that he had to win. This made Chen Hao understand that this battle was very important to Long Yi. Hence, Chen Hao didn't persist and went easy on Long Yi. Although he didn't show it, he did go easy on Long Yi. It was because he had a good impression of Long Yi. It was an inexplicable good impression. Of course, This good impression was different from the one Shimin Feng had for him. Maybe it was mutual appreciation, but in Chun Hao's opinion, it wasn't completely the case. In short, this was a very strange feeling. Similarly, Long Yi also had this feeling towards Chun Hao. Otherwise, before the battle, the two of them would not have acted like long-lost brothers and felt like old friends at first sight. If there's a chance, let's fight again. Whoosh! Chun Hao flew out of the arena, leaving behind a frowning Long Yi. Beep, beep, beep. At the same time, when Long Yi's battle record became 10,000 wins, a clear message notification sounded in his mind. Immediately, Long Yi's face shone with extreme excitement. He couldn't wait to howl at the sky. Beep, beep, beep. Congratulations, your wealth card has been upgraded to a silver card. In the second world, you have the authority to check the balance of your account and transfer money. You are allowed to overdraft 100,000 immortal yuan crystals for free. All purchases in the wealth center will be discounted by 20%. There's actually something from the Earth mode. The moment Chun Hao stepped out of the arena, he received this notification. Without a doubt, this was the reason why Chun Hao's wealth card savings had soared. It was similar to the Earth's bank model and was upgraded. Furthermore, he had obtained a certain level of authority. Check balance and account details. Chun Hao's mind had a special line from the wealth center. Dear customer, the balance of your wealth card is 1342960. 00 immortal crystals. The details are as follows. F*CK. So much? These 10,000 wins really made a lot of money. On average, it's more than 130 crystals per match. Simulated my income in the training field. When Chun Hao saw that there were thousands of crystals from the training field that he had never been to before, he was a little surprised. I received it half a year ago in the second world. At that time, I wasn't that famous, right? Who would spend so much money to simulate me? Could it be that pervert? It should be him. Oh, Chun Hao shuddered. He instantly determined that it was Shimin Feng. Especially when he thought of the way that guy looked at him, he would definitely do something like that. Although it was just 2 glances. Of course, only a rich second generation like Shimin Feng would be willing to pay such a price, right? At least that was what Chun Hao thought. Unfortunately, what Chun Hao didn't expect was that the main source was Bailey Ning Bing. Firstly, Chun Hao underestimated Bailey Ning Bing's hatred for him. Secondly, Chun Hao also underestimated Bailey Ning Bing's wealth. Phew! So many immortal yuan crystals, I must enjoy them. Chun Hao let out a long breath. Only now did the information that Shimin Feng gave him appear in his mind again. However, I should still make some preparations. Immediately, Chun Hao used the transfer inquiry authority of the silver card and obtained the wealth card numbers of Chun Shui, Helian Wuzi, Xia Yuyu, and Tantile Yen. He transferred 300,000 immortal yuan crystals to each of them. As for himself, he only kept a little over 100,000. Senior brother, I'm done. Inside the limitless silver wing, Chun Hao, who was sitting cross-legged, stood up and walked to the control room. First update, looking for monthly votes. Looking for subscriptions. Thank you. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 533. Half a year in the second world was only 18 days in the real world. Celestial Master Yuan Ru left the arena after receiving the news that Chun Hao had received from Shimin Feng. He devoted himself to the Silver Wing and paid close attention to the chaotic space. Every once in a while, he would enter the second world to report to the Infinity and see if there was any further news. Planet Wuji was in danger because of the Infinity's own strength, but the upper echelons of Planet Wuji still had a certain amount of power. This included the Infinity's first and second disciples. How many matches did you win? Who did you lose to? Celestial Master Yuanru asked, not too surprised. He'd often communicated with Chun Hao in the Silver Wing. After all, the second world was just a wisp of Chun Hao's consciousness. Without a truly powerful opponent, Chun Hao didn't need to devote himself to battle. Chun Hao's body had only entered the ethereal state since yesterday. 10,000 matches. Lost to Long E. Long E, known as the Invincible Immortal, can't complain about losing to him. Even I, your senior brother, would have to put in a lot of effort to defeat him if I were a human immortal in the false realm. With his true Yuan advantage, you should be proud if you can last 50 moves against him. Celestial Master Yuan-Ru saw that Chun Hao's expression was a little grim. He naturally thought that Chun Hao was consoling him because he'd lost a Long E. But when he said 50 moves, Chun Hao's expression seemed a little strange. After a slight pause, he hurriedly said, even if you can last 10 moves, you're still very strong. After all, you've won 10,000 matches, haven't you? Long Yi's matches in the human immortal realm were basically all over the place. Very few could last 10 moves. Junior brother, how many moves do you have? Even 5 or 6 moves are very strong. Even 1 move is nothing. Isn't it mainly dependent on Long E? Under absolute power, it's normal for you to not be able to block my ultimate move. Cough cough. Chun Hao's expression was getting weirder and weirder. Heavenly Venerate Yuan-Ru's bottom line was getting lower and lower. He was trying to comfort his junior brother. Based on Heavenly Venerate Yuan-Ru's understanding of Chun Hao had never lost since he entered the world of cultivation. This time, losing to Long E was a heavy blow. There were too many examples of this type of genius. Once they lost their confidence, it would have a huge impact on their future. This was not what he wanted to see. Senior brother, aren't you underestimating this junior brother too much? Chun Hao finally couldn't help but laugh out loud. His impression of Empyrean Yuan-Ru skyrocketed. He could see that this senior apprentice brother, who was thousands or even tens of thousands of years older than him, truly cared for him. Junior brother, what do you mean? I'm just worried about our current situation. As for the battle with Long E, to tell you the truth, I admitted defeat. Otherwise, I might not have ended the battle. You didn't fight with him? Yes, we fought for 4 hours, and there was no winner. However, I was still at a disadvantage. There was no point in continuing. This person is not bad, so I didn't have to persist. No way. Do you mean that you can fight evenly with Long E? You can say that. All right, senior brother, tell me about our current situation. Is there any new news? Chun Hao changed the topic. Impressive. Very impressive. No wonder they increased their forces. Heavenly Venerate Yuan-Ru looked at Chun Hao with a little excitement. Master has already gathered all the top forces on the Wuji planet, including eldest senior brother and second senior brother, who you haven't met yet, the 3 palace masters, and the 10 heaven immortals. They're all moving out to meet us. However, perhaps because of our actions and your performance, the Shiman family and the other 4 forces who want to kill us have increased their forces. How do we get this information? Is it accurate? Chun Hao frowned slightly. Of course it's accurate. The Wuji planet has its own sources of information. It's just that it costs more. The only thing we're worried about now is that the 5 forces will join forces to kill us. If that happens, I'm afraid we'll have to abandon the Silver Wing and escape with you. Lung Ning Lu, Bailey Ning Bing, and the other 10 people with the most potential. We'll wait for eldest senior brother and second senior brother to come to our rescue. Junior brother, you don't have to worry about this. No matter what, I'll guarantee your safety. You just have to focus on your cultivation now. This chaotic space is vast and boundless. They're just 5 forces. Can't we just avoid them and go around them? It'll be great if that's the case. The space we can change is limited. Their aircraft's detection ability is several times stronger than ours. More importantly, we don't dare to venture into the unknown, chaotic space. Why? Spatial storm. In fact, after countless years of exploration, there are only a few relatively safe and stable routes. Once we walk out of this area, we might be annihilated by the terrifying spatial storms before we even encounter them. This star fragment isn't bad. Let's hide here. Chi. Heavenly Venerable Yuan-Ru's eyes shone with excitement when he saw the huge black rock displayed on the control screen. After receiving the news, Heavenly Venerable Yuan-Ru had changed their route and been looking for a place to hide. And now, he finally saw a star fragment that was neither too big nor too small. Go, and cultivate. It's useless even if you're worried. Only you and I know about this. Let them keep it a secret so they won't panic. I'll find a reason later. Heavenly Venerable Yuanru said. It's fine. I'm still in the second world. What can I cultivate here? Don't worry, it won't affect my state of mind. Senior brother, there are many star fragments. Why did you choose this one? The black boulder on the screen was getting bigger and bigger as it got closer and closer. This star fragment is a remnant of the star core. It has a strong interference and shielding aura. Coupled with the silver wings' own aura concealment system, it won't be easy for them to sense us. Unless they happen to be within 1,000,000 miles of this star fragment and discover his existence, then there's no way. Oh, unfortunately, there's a violent spatial storm ahead of us. We'll have to stop flying for a while and take shelter here. It'll only delay our arrival at the Asianing planet, so there's no need to worry. You can continue cultivating in the second world. Huh? A spatial storm? Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, how long will that take? I'm in a hurry to meet up with my friends, an Earth celestial cultivator asked. A month at most. There's nothing we can do about it. The spatial storm is so powerful that our silver wing can't fight it at all, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru explained. Rumble. After 15 minutes of deceleration, the huge silver wing finally landed on a pitch-black land. The high-speed rotation of the star core fragment still caused a huge roar the moment they touched. It lasted for 3 whole minutes before the roar disappeared. The silver wing and the star core were rotating at the same frequency. However, the cultivators inside the silver wing couldn't sense any movement at all. The transparent window that had been closed in advance also prevented them from seeing what was outside. I've sent news of our location to Senior Brother and the others. If they can get here in advance, we'll be out of danger. At most, we'll have to abandon the silver wing. Senior Brother and the others are expected to arrive in 2 months. They should be able to make it. Sigh. If only Master's original body was still here, we wouldn't be in such danger. Daluo Jinxian, it's a pity that I can't break through. Heavenly Venerable Yunru looked at Chun Hao, who was frowning and deep in thought. Senior Brother, I want to go down and take a look. Chun Hao suddenly said. Go down and take a look? How can that be? Human celestials can't last long in the chaotic space. Not to mention inside the chaotic space, even near the edge of the planet, they can only last for 15 minutes at most. No matter how strong you are, you'll die in an hour at most. If not, I'll leave all of you here to hide. I'll drive the silver wing to attract their attention. It'll be easy to get through this crisis. I might have a way. You have a way? Heavenly Venerable Yuanru was shocked. Senior Apprentice Brother, if you trust me, then let me modify the silver wing. However, I need to find some materials. Also, I'll need your help. This. Junior Brother, are you sure you're not joking? Heavenly Venerable Yuanru looked at Chun Hao in shock, unable to believe what he had just heard. When they first boarded the silver wing, Chun Hao had indeed asked a lot about the silver wing, which proved that Chun Hao had a certain level of ability in refining equipment. However, the silver wing was a magical treasure refined by a top expert of the Daluo Golden Wonderland. With Chun Hao's cultivation, it would be difficult for him to even damage it, let alone modify it. At this point, how can I be in a mood to joke? Senior Brother, you have to understand that eldest Senior Brother and the others set off later, and the other party set off before us. What we can think of, they can also think of. How do you think we can survive? Even if Senior Apprentice Brother takes the few of us and escapes, everyone else is destined to be sacrificed. Can you escape? Even the Silver Wing doesn't dare to enter the unknown territory. How can you dare to take us? Also, I believe that since they dare to do this, they must have your aura. The chances of escaping are almost zero. We can't completely hope that eldest Senior Brother and the others can arrive. Since the other party discovered our movements, they will naturally assess our strength. Even if they arrive, what can they do? This. Chun Hao's words hit the nail on the head, leaving Heavenly Venerable Yuanru speechless. How could he not have thought of this? It was just that he did not want to be an alarmist. To be precise, he still had hope. So, There's no harm in letting me try. Chun Hao stared at heavenly venerable Yuan Ru and said firmly, Second update. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 534. Junior brother, you're right. But with your current cultivation, how are you going to leave? What's more, gather materials. This isn't something that can be done in minutes. Yuan Ru said, my body should be able to withstand it for a while. Senior brother, don't worry. I'll go out and try. If it doesn't work, I'll just rush back. There won't be any danger. Then I'll go with you, no need. Senior brother, you can't help me with the materials I need to gather. I need a special method. Besides, you need to maintain the silver wing. If you leave, it'll be a mess. Quietly send me out, Chun Hao said. Although Yuan Ru Celestial was close to him, there were some secrets that Chun Hao didn't want others to know. For example, the Infinity Ancestor had discovered that he came from Earth, but he still hadn't revealed his true uniqueness, such as the 10,000-year-old female corpse he'd obtained genes from, the other half of his soul, the old god in his mind, and many other mysterious things. All right, be careful. Don't go too far. I'll wait for your news in the secondary world. If anything happens, inform me immediately. Yuan Ru Celestial looked deeply at Chun Hao. In the control room, he suddenly sent out a burst of energy. Soon after, Chun Hao disappeared in front of him. Even Yuan Ru Celestial didn't understand why he trusted Chun Hao so much. Perhaps it was really as Chun Hao said, that he'd been forced into a desperate situation and was desperately trying to find a doctor. Or perhaps it was because of the strong confidence in Chun Hao's eyes. In short, this was a person who always brought about surprises and miracles. Through his understanding of Chun Hao and his interactions with him during this period of time, such thoughts had unknowingly influenced experts like Yuan Ru Celestial. Of course, Yuan Ru Celestial wasn't stupid. He knew that Chun Hao's so-called inability to help wasn't as simple as he'd said. There had to be some secret hidden on him. However, everyone had their own secrets. He wasn't curious enough to get to the bottom of it. Besides, why wouldn't he choose to trust someone who could surprise the Infinity Ancestor time and time again? Hiss, hiss, hiss. With a flash of light, Chun Hao appeared on the Black Star core fragment. The strong wind, which was as strong as a knife, blew towards Sukei's face. It was mixed with a violent turbulence of energy. It was comparable to the attack of a powerhouse at the initial stage of the human celestial stage. It was omnidirectional and continuous. Fortunately, Chun Hao had been prepared with Heavenly Lord Yuan Ru's reminder and the more precise instructions in his mind. The moment he emerged, his body was already covered in a layer of powerful protective stellar energy. Phew! It's true that a human celestial realm master can't withstand the chaotic space for long. It's 10 times stronger than the edge of the planet, right? Chun Hao thought to himself as he breathed in the violent energy turbulence. Old God, how confident are you? It depends on luck. Any star remains contain a large amount of minerals. However, it's hard to say whether they are precious or useful. The probability is not very high. After all, the remains of this planet are in your so-called safe zone, and countless cultivators have collected them. We can only try. Old God said, how long can you withstand it? It's hard to estimate. If I only rely on my protective stellar energy, 1 hour should be the limit. But I want to try and see if I can adapt. Adapt? Yes. I have a feeling that my body has the ability to reorganize cells. If possible, I can adapt to this kind of space turbulence. I'll give it a try first. Okay. Be careful. Old God said. Clang. Swish. After Chun Hao finished speaking, he suddenly attacked with the newly refined 5-element sword. At the same time, an extremely sharp energy burst out from his body. He instantly became one with the sword, turning into a spinning top. His head was down and his feet were up. He rushed towards the extremely hard star core fragment like a diamond drill. Rumble. In an instant, black stone fragments flew everywhere. Chun Hao's body slowly sank into the ground. What a hard meteorite. It seems that if my body can adapt to this kind of violent energy turbulence, we won't be able to collect much even if I can hold on for 8 or 10 days. Chun-Hao said in his mind as he sank. The so-called collection of materials naturally meant that he had to take this black meteorite into his mind and let old God refine it. But with such a hard meteorite, how much could he collect without using the carving technique? After all, if he wanted to use the carving technique, he had to restrain all the energy around him. This meant that Chun-Hao's body had to be able to withstand the turbulence naturally. Phew! In the control room of Silver Wing, Heavenly Lord Yuanru looked at the scene on the screen and heaved a long sigh of relief. Junior brother is indeed amazing. It's already very difficult for an ordinary immortal to withstand the turbulence of space turbulence, let alone collect materials. But he broke through the star core fragment so easily. Heavenly Lord Yuanru looked at Chun-Hao disappearing into the ground. He was both surprised and emotional. Chun-Hao went down about 1,000 feet in one go. It took him a full 10 minutes. It was only then that Chun-Hao stopped. Let's hope it works inside the cave. The turbulence of space energy did not weaken at all. This was different from the space of any planet. It was not something that could be blocked by the turbulence of space energy like the wind, just by hiding. It could be said that the turbulence of space energy was a kind of energy that was mixed with countless kinds of energy between tangible and intangible. As long as one was in the chaotic space, there was no way to avoid it. But the reason why Chun-Hao did not choose to stay on the ground, and instead chose to stay in the cave, was naturally to avoid Heavenly Lord Yuanru's gaze. Of course, he was not afraid that Heavenly Lord Yuanru would see how strong his body was, but he was embarrassed to be seen naked. Hiss. 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 Chun-Hao sat down cross-legged, and the protective aura on his body began to weaken bit by bit. In an instant, a feeling as if a blade was slicing his body began to grow, and at the same time, the Taoist robe on Chun-Hao's body directly turned into powder, disappearing without a trace. This fellow had also become completely naked. At this time, Chun-Hao immediately held his breath and did not move. His mind was completely integrated into every cell on the surface of his body. He felt the sharp pain and changed the way his cells were combined. In the past, this was something that Chun-Hao could not actively control. But after reaching the human immortal stage, he clearly felt that he had this ability. This was the real strength of his body. This was also the reason why the Infinity Ancestor could see that Chun-Hao's body was special. And this was his first practice, and it did not disappoint him. Gradually, the naked Chun-Hao's skin shone with a faint golden light. His entire person seemed to have turned into a golden body arhood of the Shaolin Temple. The small wounds caused by the turbulent flow of space energy began to quickly heal. At this time, Chun-Hao weakened his protective upstanding qi again. He was wounded again, and then healed again. This process was repeated over and over again. Time passed by minute, Chun-Hao's protective upstanding qi disappeared little by little, until it completely disappeared. Success. Swish. Chun-Hao was a gentleman. His legs swayed valiantly as he stood up, and a wisp of excitement flickered on his face. No matter whether I can successfully transform the Silver Wing or not, at least I have a glimmer of hope. What if I can adapt to the space storm in the unknown territory? Chun-Hao thought proudly, but in an instant, he became gloomy. Not to mention whether he could adapt to the space storm in the unknown territory. Even if he could, would he be able to leave the beautiful sisters behind and escape on his own? Master, it's not impossible. At this time, old God, who was also excited, spoke. Obviously, he had also sensed Chun-Hao's thoughts. If you can merge with me again, you will have an ability that only the Supreme of Hongmeng has. Old God said, what ability? The ability to turn the mind space into a real world. From then on, it will not only be your inventory space, but also the God space that can accommodate souls and primordial spirits. Any life form can survive in it. It can be said that it has the basic attributes of a planet. Have the conditions been met? Not yet. However, it all depends on luck. If this fragment contains something we need, then there's still hope. Master, hurry up and start collecting. I will refine it, Old God said. By now, the proud and arrogant old god had already submitted to the perverted Chun Hao. He even called Chun Hao master very naturally. Okay, Chun Hao responded and didn't hesitate any longer. His aura was immediately restrained to the extreme, and his mind was integrated into the remains of the star, grasping its life trajectory and texture. After a full 5 minutes, Chun Hao's eyes emitted 2 rays of light, and the sword in his hand made a hiss sound and suddenly launched. Chi 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 chi. In just a blink of an eye, the incomparably hard star was cut into pieces like tofu under Chun Hao's sword. Every time a piece was cut, it would automatically enter Chun Hao's sea of consciousness. At the same time, Old God also activated the smelting function of the primordial spiritual treasure. The fire in the furnace burned fiercely. The huge fragment of the star turned into a torrent in an instant. The impurities were removed, and the essence was condensed. Such a terrifying smelting and purification speed. Even the masters of the Daluo Golden Wonderland, who had the super powerful smelting furnace, would be shocked. This heavenly venerable Yuanru, who had long been worried, was even more shocked at this moment. In fact, when Chun Hao had drilled into the ground, although he could not see Chun Hao's figure, the sensory system of the Silver Wing could clearly detect Chun Hao's aura. As time passed, he was naturally very worried that Chun Hao would not be able to endure it. This was especially so when he sensed that Chun Hao's protective aura was growing weaker and weaker. This made him even more prepared to lend a hand at any time. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to Conceited. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 535. However, Chun Hao's life aura did not weaken in the slightest under the Silver Wing's detection, nor did he show any signs of calling for help. This made him resist the urge to attack. Now, Chun Hao suddenly began to move toward the depths of the star core at a faster speed. How could he not be shocked? Although Heavenly Lord Yuanru had not experienced it personally, he knew how hard the black star core fragment was. Originally, when Chun Hao was one with the sword, the speed at which he broke the star core fragment was more or less within the acceptable range. But now, the speed was too fast. A carving technique that blends everything in the world? This should be the secret art left behind by the mysterious Chun Hai, who even Master had to be courteous to. It's just that no one has been able to cultivate to Chun Hao's level. And to use this carving technique, one must restrain the energy around the body. This means Heavenly Lord Yuanru instantly thought of the most crucial point. He became more and more shocked and excited. He did not know how Chun Hao did it, but he knew that to be able to resist the chaotic energy turbulence of the space with one's physical body was absolutely extraordinary. Even the strongest inheritance of the Wuji Immortal Palace could not do this. But Chun Hao did it. Chi, 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 chi. Pieces of neatly cut black star core appeared under Chun Hao's sword and then disappeared in front of him. The cave was getting deeper and bigger. In Chun Hao's mind, Old God was frantically refining and extracting the mineral essence of the star core. Waste, waste, still waste. Keep going down, keep going down. Old God muttered in dissatisfaction. Although this was already within his expectations, he was still very depressed when he actually found out that there was nothing useful in the mine. Master, it seems that our luck is not very good. The mineral vein on the remains of the star core is not very bad, but it is far from enough to transform the Silver Wing. Alas, this so-called safe area is basically the leftovers. We can only try to go deeper. In that case, I will go deeper for the time being and not mine. Okay. The black stellar core fragment was still spinning rapidly in the chaotic space. However, just like the rotation of Earth, the Silver Wing and Chun Hao could no longer feel it. When Chun Hao and Old God discovered that they couldn't extract any high-level materials that could be used to modify the Silver Wing, they didn't waste any more time. Chun Hao went deeper and deeper as fast as he could. 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 2 hours for hours. One day, 2 days as time passed, Chun Hao went deeper and deeper. However, the speed of his advance also became slower and slower. However, this situation made Chun Hao, an old god, excited. This was because the increase in the planet's core's hardness meant that the materials it contained were getting better and better. Chun Hao wanted to capture its life trajectory and texture, but it was getting harder and harder. Master, collect some for me to take a look. All right. Huh. At a depth of 1 million feet, the essence extracted should be comparable to the materials of the silver wing. Master, you can start harvesting now. Phew, that's good. While Chun Hao was immersed in mining, in the depths of the chaotic space far away, an aircraft that was more than 10 times the size of the silver wing was traveling through the space turbulence at a terrifying speed. It was like a bright meteor. Wherever it passed, some of the smaller stellar core fragments were directly turned into powder by the terrifying energy it emitted. It couldn't stop its advance at all inside the aircraft. In the huge control room, 3 powerful old men and a young man were staring at the control screen. Third uncle, can we determine the location of the target? This young man was the guy who gave Chun Hao a headache, Shimin Feng. He had always looked like a playboy, but at this moment, he had a rare, serious look on his face. He looked at the most powerful of the 3 old men and asked, "It's naturally impossible to pinpoint the target accurately, and it's still early, at least a month later. Oh, third uncle, this chaotic space is so vast. Can we really find them? According to the news, they should already know about our operation and will naturally hide." "Huh, you brat. Why do I feel like you become a different person recently? In the past, you never cared about these things. If you could use your hands, you would never use your brain." "Ahem. Third uncle, no matter what, I'm still one of the heirs of the family. I have to learn more." "Well said. You're finally enlightened. Third uncle's efforts were not in vain. I'm very satisfied with your recent performance. The patriarch has also seen it. With your talent, as long as you're willing to work hard, no one can snatch the patriarch's position from you. This time, if we can kill the people of the Wuji Star, especially that Chun Hao, third uncle can give his credit to you." "Ha! Don't worry. Although the chaotic space is vast and boundless, the safe areas for navigation are only a few narrow routes. Look at these." Shimin Feng's third uncle, Shimin Luyan, pointed at the huge screen in front of him. With a slight thought, 4 intersecting light belts appeared on the screen. These 4 roads are the only way for them to get to the Yang planet. The widest one is no more than 6 million miles wide. Our Jinlong is equipped with the most advanced reconnaissance tactical deployment and, at a high price, is connected to the advanced signal system of the second world. Its detection range is 3 million miles. That is to say, as long as their spacecrafts are on the same route as us, there is nowhere for them to hide. What's more, the advanced signal system of the second world can directly lock onto the low-level signal system of their spacecrafts. How can they escape? Oh, but they may not necessarily be on the same route as us. It doesn't matter. The patriarchs of the other 4 forces have been contacted. It can be said that the Shimin family is now in control of them. The other 4 forces are blocking the other 3 routes according to their strength. Basically, they can't escape even if they have wings. Then, Shimin Feng asked a lot of questions to clarify the situation, including the situation of the other 4 forces. After that, he said, "That's good. I don't have to worry about anything. Third uncle, I'm going to the second world to practice. Call me if anything happens." "Haha, good. If you can reach the medium stage of the human celestial stage in half a year, I'll reward you with 1 million celestial core crystals and a low-grade divine artifact. Go, go." Shimin Lian looked at Shimin Feng dotingly. He was more affectionate than his own son, let alone his nephew, especially when he promised a reward. Even Shimin Feng's father would not be so generous. "What should I do? What should I do?" After walking out of the control room, Shimin Feng went directly to his private room. This Golden Dragon aircraft was much more luxurious than Chun Hao's Silver Wing. Its facilities were like a huge palace. I haven't seen him since I told him to leave the arena. I've hired so many people to look for him, but there's no news. Obviously, he didn't enter the second world at all. What should I do? What can I do? If I die like this, what's the point of living? Shimin Feng's usually foppish face was unusually solemn at this moment, as if the sky was falling down. Even if I can find him and tell him, I'm afraid I can't stop third uncle. Forget it. If it really comes to that, I'll just have to go all out. Shimin Feng bit his lip and made a decision. He would protect Chun Hao at all costs. Even he didn't dare to believe that he had gone mad. Or rather, he had gone mad. From Chun Hao's attitude toward him, he had long since understood that there was no hope between him and Chun Hao. However, he still had no regrets. It was not for anything else. As long as he could obtain information about Chun Hao and occasionally catch a glimpse of him, everything would be enough. What kind of spirit was this? Heaven and earth moved. It's impossible to find him. Then I'll try to find heavenly venerable Yuanru, as long as I can find their communication numbers. Although it might not work. Indeed, even if Shimin Feng told Chun Hao all the information, it would be useless. There were only 4 safe routes from the Wuji planet to the Yang planet, and the Silver Wing had been sailing for a while. At this moment, it was useless to turn back. With the speed of Shimin Feng and the others, they would definitely reach the Wuji planet before them. Otherwise, they could return to the Wuji planet to hide. It was protected by the laws of the vast universe galaxy. No matter how strong they would not dare to break into the Wuji planet. Unfortunately, this route was blocked. Similarly, the experts sent by the Wuji planet were of no use. Not to mention that they could not make it in time. Even if they could, the Shimin family and the other 4 forces would be enough to deal with them. Now, the only hope was for the Shimin family to encounter the Silver Wing, because then he could threaten them with death. He believed that with his third uncle's love for him, there was still a glimmer of hope. Other than that, there was no other way. Fend for itself. Fend for itself. Why? Second world, Yang City, deep in the palace of the Wuji planet. The Wuji planet had waited for 20 days and sent out countless messages. Until now, he finally received a reply. There were only 4 simple words. Fend for itself. This made the Wuji planet's expression extremely ugly, and he was extremely angry. Chun Hao is his son. Although he is his adopted son, don't you have feelings for him? If you don't have feelings for him, why did you protect him so much on the Wuji planet? If you have feelings for him, why don't you care about his current situation? I don't believe that you still don't have the ability to control him. The Wuji planet clenched his fists. He was angry, desperate, and confused. Second update. Please subscribe. Please vote. There will be more updates tonight. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to Conceited. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 536. But there is nothing he could do. Helplessness. Extreme helplessness. If he was in his peak state, how could he be so humiliated? A tiger in the plains would be bullied by dogs, and a dragon in the shallow sea would be teased by shrimps. The infinity ancestor closed his eyes sadly. He knew that this crisis would wipe out his biggest hope, the hope he had when he made that decision 10,000 years ago, the hope to save the Wuji star. Basically, he could only rely on himself. 50 years, 50 years. Could he succeed? No, I can succeed. I will succeed, I must succeed. Today's humiliation, when I succeed, I will return it 100 times over. No one can conquer or enslave the Wuji star. The infinity ancestor opened his eyes suddenly and said firmly. After that, he sent out a few messages and turned into a white light, disappearing from the second world. A warrior cut off his wrists and cut off all means of retreat. His only hope had been wiped out. There was no way out. He could only rely on himself. Time is running out. Master, we have to speed up the collection. F***CK. This is already my fastest speed. How much more do we need? According to your design, we need at least 100,000 tons of purified materials. Now we need 40,000 tons. At the current speed, we need at least 5 more days. If we need 5 more days, we have used 14 days to collect the materials. That means we have 1 more month to modify and refine the materials. It is indeed very tight, yes. When modifying and refining the materials, even with the help of Heavenly Lord Yuanru's magic power, it won't be much faster. It's hard to say if we can complete it in 1 month. What if the enemy comes earlier? Chunhao frowned. After a moment of silence, he took a deep breath and said, "Let me see if this works." Hiss. As soon as he finished speaking, the sword in Chunhao's hand split into two. At the same time, a golden figure appeared beside him. It was a doppelganger. The old god suddenly understood what Chunhao was going to do. He was doing two things at once, activating the carving technique. With old god's understanding of the Carving Heart Sutra, this was undoubtedly an extremely difficult task. Originally, Chunhao had to focus all his attention on comprehending the life trajectories and veins of the star nucleus. Only then could he cut it quickly. But now, even if he could cut it in two, wouldn't it affect the speed at which he could control the veins? Hiss, hiss, it can't be. Just as old god was worried about Chunhao's multitasking, Chunhao's doppelgangers split into three. Including himself, there were now 5. Old god wanted to stop him, but when he saw Chunhao looking in 5 different directions and concentrating on the remains of the planet, he held himself back and didn't say anything. At this moment, the cave was completely silent. The 5 Chunhaos didn't move at all, and their auras were restrained to the extreme. Obviously, he was fully focused on comprehending the veins of the star nucleus. Hiss, hiss. It was far slower than when Chunhao acted alone. But as the boulders flew up and merged into Chunhao's mind, old god suddenly realized what was going on. Hiss, 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 hiss. I could still be faster. Almost there. A day and a half later, old god said excitedly, "Master Hiss, Hiss, I didn't expect you to be so fast. You saved 3.5 days. Are you sure it's enough?" I'm sure it's enough. Okay, let's go back now. Hiss. Chunhao's 5 figures suddenly merged into one. His entire body turned into a stream of light as he soared into the sky from the deep cave, flying towards the silver wing that was docked not far away. "Junior brother, are you done?" Just as Chunhao got close to the silver wing, a bright light flashed. A small door opened on the silver wing, and Chunhao was sucked into the control room. "Senior brother, what's wrong?" Chunhao asked in surprise. Hiss. "Junior brother, what do you want to do? I'll do my best to help you." Hiss, 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 hiss. However, what Chunhao didn't know was that the true source of despair for Heavenly Sovereign Yuanru wasn't what he thought. Instead, it came from his mental support, Patriarch Limitless. "Don't worry, senior brother. As long as the modification is successful, there's still hope. There's always a way out. Even if the modification isn't successful, we might not really die." Chunhao's handsome face shone with absolute confidence as he spoke. Even hiss, 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 even hiss, hiss. "I believe in you." Hiss, 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 hiss. He really couldn't bear to discourage this junior brother of his, who'd surprised him so many times. Even though they'd only known each other for a short time, and there was a huge age gap between them, it didn't affect his admiration and respect for this junior brother of his. Hiss, 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 hiss. If he had been born 1,000 years earlier, or even 100 years earlier, the Wuji star would have been able to escape this crisis, right? If he had truly grown up, the Wuji star would have been even stronger than it was at its peak, right? What a pity. Hiss, hiss, hiss. "Senior brother, I want to truly understand the structure of the Silver Wing. I can't do that just by relying on my mind. Therefore, I want to fuse with you. Give me control." "All right, no problem." Hiss, hiss. As he spoke, an extremely powerful aura was emitted from between his brows. As it neared Chunhao's forehead, it suddenly became extremely gentle. Chi. Chunhao also sent out his mind to meet Heavenly Lord Yuanru. Boom. Even though Heavenly Venerate Yuanru had restrained himself to the extreme, Chunhao's mind still shuddered when their minds merged. In an instant, Chunhao's perception expanded infinitely. At the same time, the massive and complex silver wing was completely under Chun Hao's control. Slowly closing his eyes, Chun Hao sensed every inch of space, every component, and every rune on the silver wing. Time slowly passed. The most difficult part was the incomparably complicated runes. Even with Chun Hao's comprehension ability, it was not something that could be done in a short period of time if he wanted to completely understand the mysteries of these runes. Although these runes were in existence that the old god despised, that was the old god. As the spirit of an ancient spiritual treasure, the old god had always been restricted by the restrictions of the ancient spiritual treasure. Before Chun Hao's cultivation realm and fusion with him met the requirements, he couldn't help Chun Hao do things that were beyond his level. Therefore, the only thing he could rely on was Chun Hao's own comprehension to decipher and then modify it. The only thing the old god could help Chun Hao was to follow Chun Hao's instructions and perfectly refine what he needed. At most, he could instill some high-level runes that Chun Hao could understand. So that's how it is. This is not bad. Okay, continue. Chun Hao was immersed in deciphering the mysteries of the runes. From one piece to another, a more complete system was gradually formed in his mind. This feeling was very good. Chun Hao forgot about the passage of time. It was as if he had returned to the time when he was on Earth, immersed in some kind of cutting-edge technological problem. Although these were runes that had nothing to do with technology. Every single breakthrough of comprehension caused Chun Hao to be excited, and his inspiration and passion were even stronger. Even he himself hadn't noticed that his soul seemed to be undergoing some sort of baptism at this moment, and it became even more crystalline and translucent. At the same time, his body also emitted a strange aura. It was an aura that didn't belong to cultivation at all. Even though Heavenly Lord Yuanru's mind was one with Chun Hao's, or it could be said that he had lent his psychic power, essence, energy, and spirit to Chun Hao, he didn't notice at all. Heavenly Lord Yuanru only felt that Chun Hao's target was changing faster and faster. He could tell that the places he passed were all places that Chun Hao already understood and controlled. This made him feel even more sorry for Chun Hao. It's been 5 days. At this speed, Master still needs 3 more days, right? I hope he can make it in time. Unlike Heavenly Lord Yuanru, the old god was still waiting nervously. The seemingly peaceful present was facing a life and death crisis at every moment. Every minute and every second was extremely precious. This was a race against time, a race against the heavens. Third update. Requesting monthly votes. Requesting subscriptions. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to Conceited. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 537. Yes, that's it. Haha, so that's how it is. Madness, madness, insanity. Chun Hao, whose entire mind had fused into his comprehension and research, seemed to have entered a state of madness, and the aura that didn't belong to a cultivator emitted from his body grew stronger and stronger. The expression on his handsome face changed. Sometimes his eyebrows were furrowed, and sometimes he was ecstatic. This state of madness shocked Heavenly Master Yuanru. It was as if his mind was under the control of Chun Hao. Rumble. Ha! Ha ha! For a full 7 days, Chun Hao maintained the same posture. Only his expression changed. Suddenly, his mind became clear. Accompanied by his excited laughter, his mind was integrated into every corner of the silver wing without any hindrance at this moment. What made Heavenly Master Yuanru's eyes widen in horror was that his mind was actually completely left behind by Chun Hao. What did this mean? Chun Hao, a cultivator in the advanced stage of the human celestial stage, had relied on his own strength to control the silver wing, which could only be controlled by a master in the heaven celestial stage. This was absolutely inconceivable, but Chun Hao had indeed done it. This was because the buzzing sound from the silver wing, as well as the aura from all the runes that suddenly began to circulate, proved everything. Little junior brother has really comprehended all the runes of the formation. Otherwise, with his cultivation base, he would not be able to control it. Heavenly Master Yuanru stared at Chun Hao, his heart full of shock and horror. He knew very well that there was no other reason except for this reason. Just like him, he controlled the silver wing completely with his own cultivation base and forcibly controlled it. Chun Hao, on the other hand, had completely comprehended the mystery of the runes of the formation. With a small amount of strength, he could do what he could only do with great effort. This was a bit similar to Chun Hao's carving technique, which was to create strength through ingenuity. Senior brother, let me borrow your true core strength. After laughing maniacally, Chun Hao didn't waste any time. He looked at Heavenly Venerate Yuanru, who was still in shock. Good, good. Empyrean Primal Origin regained his composure and said, Good, good. Empyrean Primal Origin slammed his palm down on Chun Hao's life gate. Vigorous and pure true essence immediately surged into Chun Hao's body. Chi, chi, chi. Chun Hao abruptly closed his eyes. At the same time, he became one with Old God's mind, merging it into his mind and the entire Silver Wing. First, modify the power system. This is my plan. Give me the strongest runes that you can give me and help me comprehend them. Asterisk crash. Asterisk while communicating with his mind. Chun Hao condensed a pattern and passed on the desired effect to Old God. All right, I'll try my best. With Old God's knowledge and experience, coupled with Chun Hao's understanding of Earth's technology, it was easy for him to accept Chun Hao's theory and understand Chun Hao's intentions. Soon, Chun Hao's mind turned into a real refining cauldron. All kinds of parts that Chun Hao needed were born. At the same time, as Chun Hao comprehended the runes provided by Old God, complicated runes began to appear on the parts. Back on the Wuji planet, Chun Hao had told Qin Shui and the others that he would refine a magical treasure that would shock them in the future. Chun Hao had always thought that day was very far away. He had never imagined that at this moment, when his life was in great danger, he would be forced to start. Empyrean Primal Origin felt his true core strength dissipating rapidly and surging into Chun Hao's body. It had to be said that the number of times Empyrean Primal Origin had been shocked by Chun Hao during this period of time was more than the total number of times he had been shocked in the past 10,000 years. Now, it was hard for him not to be shocked again. All he saw was Chun Hao in front of him and felt his own energy surging into Chun Hao's body. However, Chun Hao, who was only at the later stage of the human celestial stage, was like a bottomless pit absorbing his energy. Such a vast amount of energy could definitely make an Earth celestial stage expert explode. However, when it reached Chun Hao's body, it was like mud sinking into the sea, disappearing without a trace. Empyrean Yuanru guessed that this energy must have fused into Chun Hao's mind space. But he couldn't figure out just how powerful Chun Hao's mind space was, or how Chun Hao had such powerful control over it, able to control such boundless energy. Empyrean Primal Origin did not know how long this situation would last. Therefore, when he felt his energy could not make ends meet, he began to refine and devour celestial core strength crystals. He even separated a strand of his true core strength and mind to borrow all the celestial core strength crystals from all the cultivators on the Silver Wing, especially those at the Earth celestial stage. He had no choice. He did not have many celestial core strength crystals left. It was only enough for him to maintain his consumption and drive the Silver Wing to the Asianing planet. Therefore, he had to borrow. Although these cultivators did not know what was going on, and Empyrean Primal Origin did not explain what was going on, given his status on the Wuji planet, they had no reason to refuse and would not keep anything to themselves. Even though Empyrean Primal Origin was refining primal core strength crystals with all his might, the speed of his recovery was still far behind Chun Hao's consumption. Junior brother, my true core strength is almost depleted. In less than 4 hours, Empyrean Primal Origin had to remind the focused Chun Hao. Oh, then you rest first and recover as soon as possible. We have to complete the transformation as soon as possible. There's not much time left, Chun Hao said with a frown. He was a little depressed. He had done everything he could, but he had forgotten that Empyrean primal origin's true core strength was not inexhaustible. It would take time, and what he lacked most now was time. Senior brother, I have the best spirit spring here. It should be able to speed up your recovery. Chunhao hesitated for a few seconds and did not dare to hold back any longer. Splash! In an instant, the spirit spring gushed out of Chunhao's mind and surrounded Empyrean primal origin. The spirit spring had been improved by Chunhao's cultivation level and the old god's transformation. It could no longer be compared to the spirit spring of the past. The old god had transformed the energy it contained into the true core strength of an immortal venerable. Although it was still inferior to the true core strength of a heavenly immortal venerable, it was so pure that Empyrean primal origin could directly absorb it. He only needed to condense it to replenish his true core strength. There is no doubt that this could greatly speed up the recovery of Empyrean primal origin. Empyrean primal origin took a deep breath. Under the influence of Chunhao, his silent and despairing heart seemed to have been revived. Inexplicably, because of this junior brother, who was only at the later stage of the human celestial stage, had rekindled his fighting spirit. He also became nervous and excited. Boom! Exalted celestial Yuanru tossed aside all reservations and pride. Without hesitation, he tore apart his Taoist robes and became naked. Then, he came into intimate contact with the pure spirit spring water, refining and absorbing it. He was recovering at an almost frenzied pace. On one side, it was a race against time. On the other side, there were leisurely flying aircrafts that were several times more powerful than the Silver Wing, shuttling through the chaotic space. In the Yang city of the second world, you are a disciple of the Wuji star, right? Yes. What do you want? Let me ask you a few questions. Answer truthfully. Don't think that I can't do anything to you just because this is the second world. Did you see the expressions of the people around you when I caught you just now? They were scared. Do you know who I am? I am a direct descendant of the Shimin family, one of the 5 big families of the Yang star. And I am the future head of the family. It is very easy for me to take your life. Shimin Feng's arrogant and domineering voice came out of his mouth. Beside him stood a few fierce-looking lackeys. The young man who had been caught by force looked extremely embarrassed. He was a little angry at first, but when he heard Shimin Feng's arrogant words, he did not dare to show any dissatisfaction. The situation was compelling. He had heard about the situation of the Wuji star in the vast universe galaxy. In the face of such a powerful force, he could not imagine the consequences if he did not bow his head. After all, he did not really know the situation of the Yang star. Very well. A wise man submits to circumstances. Tell me, have you not reached the Yang star yet? No. Are you on the Wuji star now, or have you set off? Are you on your way? Yes. I am on my way to the Yang star. The young man frowned slightly. He did not understand why Shimin Feng would ask such a question. He had never offended anyone before. That's great. When he heard the young man's words, Shimin Feng's typical playboy expression suddenly changed. He seemed to be very excited. He took the young man's hand and led him to a cultivation room. At the same time, he told the people around him, "You can all leave now. I want to have an intimate talk with this little brother." Ha ha. Yes, yes. Boss, have fun. Ha ha. Although the group of guys was baffled, when they heard Shimin Feng's words, they all put on wretched expressions. They were secretly excited. They were excited that their boss had finally regained his former demeanor. After all, since the last time he saw Chunhao, Shimin Feng seemed to have changed into a different person. He did not even care about his underlings, who had a special relationship with him. And now, even though they had found a new favorite, they were still able to see the glory of the past and reignited their hope. What do you want? The young man was not a fool. He faintly felt a gust of cold wind blow over his butt. He was so scared that he spoke in horror. Bro, don't be nervous. I want to talk to you about something very important. It's about the lives of you and all the people on the aircraft heading to the Yang star. I couldn't find Brother Chin Hao or Heavenly Master Yuanru. I can only look for people like you who are with them. Shimin Feng pulled the young man to the cultivation room with a wretched expression and transmitted his voice to him. His voice was solemn, serious, and sincere. How is this possible? How is this possible? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. In the Silver Wing, a young man at the initial stage of the human celestial stage suddenly stood up. As if he was too frightened, he roared, "Heavenly Master Yuanru! Heavenly Master Yuanru! I have something important to report. Can you give me a monthly ticket? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation." Chapter 538. What's the matter? Heavenly Lord Yuanru bellowed with a hint of anger. At the same time, under the surprised and confused gazes of the crowd, he directly sent out a beam of energy to bring the youth who seemed to have lost control of his emotions into the control room. Everyone, don't panic. He must have been provoked in the second world. Senior brother? Chunhao interrupted Heavenly Venerate Yuanru. Senior brother, we're still not fast enough. It's too slow. I think we shouldn't hide it from them. There's strength in numbers. It's good to succeed, but if we don't succeed, we'll die without regrets. What do you say? This? All right. Since Junior Brother says so, we'll do as you say, Heavenly Venerate Yuanru said after a moment of silence. Indeed, even though he had fully recovered, he still couldn't satisfy Chunhao's needs. Most of the cultivators present had just advanced to the early stage of human immortal, but there were many of them. If they all joined in, it would be of great help. Junior brother, why don't you say it? I'll take the time to recover. All right, Chunhao replied as he glanced at Heavenly Venerate Yuanru, who was naked and immersed in the spirit spring. If it were any other time, Chunhao would have laughed. Damn, this was a high and mighty figure on the Wuji star, but now he had put down all his airs. Wait, I have important news to report. Heavenly Venerate Yuanru, Brother Chun. This news concerns our life and death. Although the young man who was frightened by Shimin Feng was shrouded in a mysterious black fog and couldn't see Heavenly Venerate Yuanru and Chunhao's faces, he could hear their conversation. It seemed that the two already knew about their current predicament, but they were hiding it from all the cultivators in the cabin. Say it, Chunhao said directly. Although he didn't want to admit it, he was almost certain that this news had something to do with Shimin Feng. It's like this. I met Shimin Feng of the Shimin family in the second world. He's your good brother. The young man naturally wouldn't say that he was forcibly captured by Shimin Feng. He was looking for Brother Chun and Heavenly Venerate Yuanru, but you didn't land in the second world. He had no choice but to let me pass the message. This is a matter of great importance. He said that the Shimin clan and the forces from the other 4 planets have already split into 4 groups and are rushing towards us through 4 different passages. We also have no way to retreat. No matter if it is military strength or aircraft, they are much stronger than us. Is that so? Chunhao's frowning slightly. Although he and Heavenly Venerate Yuanru's words, hearing it, anger. What did Shimin Feng say? Is he telling us that we'll die? No. Shimin Feng said that he doesn't want to see you get killed no matter what. So, he hopes that we can take the main passage and meet the Shimin family. He said that you and Heavenly Venerate Yuanru must believe him. The leader of the Shimin family is his 3rd uncle, Shimin Luyun, who dotes on him the most. When the time comes, he'll have a way to save us. Other than that, we have no chance of survival. All right, I got it. Let's not talk about whether what he said is true, but our life and death must be in our own hands. Senior brother, let him into the cabin. I'll tell him everything. Heavenly Venerate Yuanru responded and sent the young man back into the cabin with a wave of energy. Heavenly Venerate Yuanru didn't think there was any problem with the news brought by the young man. Although he didn't know why Shimin Feng had such a good relationship with Chunhao, he knew that this time it was Shimin Feng who revealed it to Chunhao in advance. Just based on this, it was enough to prove that Shimin Feng wasn't tricking them, but really wanted to help them. Everyone, Chunhao's figure appeared in the cabin. His handsome face shone with an unprecedentedly serious expression. What? In the cabin, 14 Earth Celestial Realm experts, 69 human Celestial Realm experts, including the sisters and Bailey Ningbing, who had a deep grudge against Chun Hao, all looked at Chun Hao at this moment. Although they didn't know what had happened for the time being, from the young man's panic just now, they could faintly feel an oppressive atmosphere. In particular, the one who came out of the control room to speak was Chun Hao. Heavenly Venerate Yuan Ru didn't want to alarm you. The space storm that he mentioned didn't exist. In fact, what we're about to face is the Five Forces pursuit. Now, we've reached the final moment of life and death. Crash, what? Countless people's expressions changed, and they cried out in alarm. Every one of them is very strong, much stronger than us. There are only 4 roads leading to the Yang planet, and they've all been blocked. To be exact, they're approaching us at a fast speed. We have no way out. Even if we go back, we'll be caught. F***CK. Then let's fight. Let's fight. Yes, let's fight. The hot-blooded young man said sternly. Fight? How can we fight? This is a chaotic space, let alone a human celestial. Even the 14 Earth Celestial Realm experts here don't have the strength to fight. Once we step out of the Silver Wing, we won't even have a chance to survive in this chaotic space. Then what should we do? Wait for death. Bailey Ningbing put aside her hatred for Chun Hao and asked with a frown. She didn't want to die. She believed that she still had a bright future, especially after she had comprehended the immortality essence through the chaotic space by chance. She firmly believed in this point. The only way is to make our silver-winged everlasting even stronger, be in terms of speed, defense, or attack, all of them. Only in this way can we have a chance to survive. As you can see, Heavenly Venerate Yuan Ru is trying his best to modify our silver wing. But time is of the essence, and his energy consumption is too fast. So, he needs all of our help. If you don't want to die, transfer your energy to me. Transfer it to you? Yes. Heavenly Venerate Yuan Ru has lent me his magic weapon. It can quickly refine everyone's energy and transfer it to him. It's that simple. Also, your recovery depends on the supreme spiritual spring provided by Heavenly Venerate Yuan Ru. As for clothes, wear as little as possible so that you can recover faster. Splash! As soon as Chun Hao finished speaking, the surging spiritual spring gushed out and filled the cabin in a moment. At this point, there was no need to worry about the cost. The moment they sensed the supreme spiritual spring, all the cultivators present, except for the sisters, were slightly surprised. Even the rich second-generation Bailey Ningbing and the 14 Earth Celestial Realm experts who had seen the world were shocked. As for the others, they were even more shocked. They couldn't imagine the value of the supreme spiritual spring. Some of them couldn't help but have the urge to put the supreme spiritual spring into their storage space. Fortunately, they were just thinking about it. Earth Celestial Realm, 14 of you together. Human Celestial Realm, all of you together. Don't worry that I can't bear it. With my magic weapon, even 2 Celestial Realm experts won't be a problem. Chun Hao said, what are you waiting for? Do you want to die? Seeing that they were a little dazed, Chun Hao had to yell at them sternly. Okay, we'll go first. The 14 Earth Celestial Realm experts immediately rushed to Chun Hao. Swoosh, 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 streams of vigorous and pure, true core strength with different auras gushed toward Chun Hao's Mingmen. Activated at full power. Chun Hao ordered again. Boom, boom, boom. Oh God, let's go. Chun Hao sensed the majestic and pure, true core strength of the 14 Earth Celestial Realm experts. He was not afraid at all. If it were an ordinary person, this kind of mixed energy would directly explode his body. However, Chun Hao was not even afraid of the chaotic space. Of course, he was not afraid of this. Phew, little junior brother has done a good job. When did I become so powerful? In the control room, Heavenly Lord Yuan Ru, who was trying his best to recover, thought to himself after hearing Chun Hao's words. However, he did not blame Chun Hao for doing this. After all, they could accept that he was the one who took the blame. If they knew that everything was controlled by Chun Hao, it would be too shocking. Of course, more importantly, it was not certain that they would cooperate with Chun Hao. In the control room, everyone was paying attention to Chun Hao's every move. In the spiritual spring, they were trying their best to recover to their peak state. At this time, although they felt the crisis, it was still difficult for them to accept it. They felt that everything that had happened was unreal. They did not feel the crisis from the bottom of their hearts. Therefore, although they followed Chun Hao's instructions, they still felt relieved. However, the sisters who knew Chun Hao's trump cards knew that Chun Hao was not an alarmist. What a powerful devouring ability. This Chun Hao is not simple. He is only at the human celestial stage. Even if he has Heavenly Lord Yuanru's magic treasure, he needs to have enough strength to control it. We have 14 Earth celestial stage powerhouses instilling energy into him at the same time, but he can control it easily. That's amazing. The 14 Earth celestial stage powerhouses launch their attacks at the same time. At the beginning, none of them used their full strength. However, after being urged by Chun Hao several times, they had pushed themselves to the limit. That was why they were so shocked. At the same time, the surrounding human celestial stage powerhouses were also shocked by the scene in front of them. Bailey Ningbing pursed her thin lips and stared at Chun Hao fiercely. After 15 minutes, the 14 Earth celestial stage powerhouses were all pale. Apparently, they had reached their limit. All human celestial stage powerhouses, together, try your best to recover. Chun Hao ordered directly. Swish, swish, swish. Instantly, more than 60 human celestial stage powerhouses started to inject their energy into Chun Hao's vital gate without hesitation. The 14 powerhouses at the Earth's celestial stage hid aside and took off their Taoist robes. The men only wore underwear, while the women tried their best to expose the skin on their arms and legs. Of course, even so, they still released protective energy to cover their bodies. First update. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please vote. Please vote for me. Please, give me some interaction, okay? Wushan has turned over a new leaf and is determined to regain its moral integrity. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 539. No one had the nerve to take off their clothes and use their supernatural powers to conceal themselves. Only cultivators with similar cultivation bases, or cultivators with lower cultivation bases, could be concealed. Even if they knew that no one would have the nerve to peek under such circumstances, they still had to be on guard, right? Faster, faster. Chun Hao's urging voice could be heard from the cabin. If it weren't for this critical moment, I would definitely. Bailey Ningbing's eyes flickered as she felt her true yuan surge into Chun Hao's life gate. She knew very well that if she played dirty and turned the energy she poured into Chun Hao's body into an offensive ultimate technique, the blow to Chun Hao would definitely be fatal. After all, Chun Hao was completely defenseless at this moment. He was completely at her mercy, but this thought only flashed in her mind for a moment before she forcefully suppressed it. What she wanted was to truly defeat Chun Hao and ruthlessly trample him beneath her feet. What she wanted was to conquer a peerless genius whose status, reputation, and fame surpassed Chun Hao in all aspects. She wanted to ruthlessly slap Chun Hao's face so that no one could disdain her, and even more so, no one could casually trample on her dignity. However, this was only the opinion of this absolutely narrow-minded and selfish little girl. Unfortunately, she didn't even realize that she was wrong. Chun Hao was a little depressed. 14 Earth immortals and over 60 human immortals combined couldn't even defeat Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, a heaven immortal. From this, it could be seen how strong and expert at the peak of the advanced heaven immortal stage was. The only consolation was that Heavenly Venerable Yuanru was almost fully recovered when the 60 human immortals ran out of energy. Therefore, when the sisters ran out of energy and couldn't hold on any longer, Chun Hao directly announced that he would transfer energy to Heavenly Venerable Yuanru. After everyone recovered, he would enter the control room and devour Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's rich and pure energy again. The intensive and rapid refinement of various parts designed by Chun Hao was carried out in an orderly manner. Once these parts were completed, Chun Hao, who had full control of Silver Wing, only needed to perform a few simple assembly steps to integrate them into Silver Wing and bring them to great use. Of course, this was only in theory. Whether or not he would succeed in the end, only Chun Hao himself would know. Junior brother, when you're done, should we choose the main path? Maybe Shimin Feng really has a way to help us. Shimin Feng is one of the heirs of the Shimin family, so he should have a lot of say. Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, who had already made a choice in despair because of Patriarch Wuji's message, now was once again excited. Senior brother, you believe that Shimin Feng is a good-for-nothing? Even if he is the only one, he can't change his family's decision. Shimin Feng, Wuji Yuanru, Wuji, 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 Wuji. After all, they're the strongest among the 5 superpowers, and they have been coveting our Wuji star for a long time. Chun Hao said without hesitation, although it was somewhat against his will. He was not sure about other things, but at least he was sure that Shimin Feng, this disgusting guy, really wanted to help him. There was no doubt about that, but he would rather not have such a thing. It was too King heart-wrenching, especially if he was really helped by this guy. What should he do? Of course, he cannot betray his own body and mind, right? I'm a good, upright man, and I've never been gay. He did not have any potential or desire to be gay. Therefore, he could not owe Shimin Feng this favor. Otherwise, he would be too embarrassed to fight with him when they met in the future. You're right. It's up to you. Anyway, the Silver Wing is completely under your control now, and you can do whatever you want more than me. Okay, according to the current progress, we can complete the transformation in another 15 days. I hope we can make it in time. Chun Hao said and devoted himself to the tempering. In the deep and vast chaotic space, a stream of light spiraled forward at an amazing speed. This flying machine was 10 times the size of the Silver Wing Infinity. With such a spiral trajectory, it was undoubtedly a carpet search. But even so, its speed was several times faster than the Silver Wing Infinity. This was the force that was second only to the Shimin clan among the 5 superpowers that intercepted Chun Hao and the others. It was also the force that set off first. Their flying machine, the Black Hawk, was not inferior to the Shimin clan's flying machine in terms of speed and defense. The only thing that was lacking was the detection system. This was also the reason why they were arranged to be second only to the main path after the 5 superpowers united. In the control room, the 2 Heaven Immortals stared at the huge control screen with their hands behind their backs. Senior brother, according to our calculation, we should be able to reach them in about 4 days. Of course, if they're on this path. No, our calculation is just the original calculation. If the Shimin clan and the other 3 superpowers are as careful as us and are not discovered by the Infinity Ancestor, we will meet them in about 5 or 6 days on the main path. But now, first, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru and the others might not be on this path. Second, they might be hiding somewhere and waiting for rescue. Third, they might turn back and stall for time. So, it's not up to us to decide when we will meet them or whether we will meet them. Luckily, the Shimin clan and the others have the same goal as us, which is to kill them. So, it doesn't matter if we meet them or not. In short, they can't escape. At most, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's primordial spirit can escape. Oh, then it's very likely that we have nothing to do with it. I was thinking of taking the opportunity to get some slaves for the little beauties on the Infinity Star. So boring. If I had known this, I wouldn't have come. Senior brother, you can do it yourself. Ha ha. Junior brother, you're an expert at the peak of the late stage of the Heaven Immortal realm. It's not a good thing to be so greedy. The older you get, the more energetic you get, right? Ha! Besides, the girls on the Infinity Star are indeed very attractive. Their beauty is really outstanding. They're recognized as the top maids in our vast universe galaxy. The price is frighteningly high. If we could get a few of them, we'll be proud of ourselves, won't we? That's true. The Ximen clan has taken a fancy to the great wealth on the Infinity Star. That's why they didn't hesitate to lower themselves. We can't compete with them. 50 years later, it'll be enough if we can get a spot on the main planet of the Yang planet. The two Heaven Immortal Realm experts didn't know that the silver-winged infinity was on the path they were on. It was just that there was a slight deviation from their original estimate. This was because the silver-winged infinity had already hidden in the star fragments and stopped flying. So, it would take at least 8 or 9 days for them to meet. Third uncle, how much longer? On the main path, Ximen Feng walked into the control room of the Ximen clan's aircraft and asked, "It's hard to say. If they dare to stay on a main path and don't turn back, we should meet in 4 or 5 days. What can't stand the loneliness? It's indeed quite boring, huh? Third uncle is going to show you something interesting." "What is it?" "Ha! A woman, a very beautiful young girl, and her talent is also very good. Not only can you collect the best primordial yin, but if you practice dual cultivation, you'll also benefit a lot. Look, if you're interested, I'll have to make a decision." Chi. As he spoke, Ximen Luyun sent out a beam of energy. Suddenly, a lifelike phantom appeared in front of Ximen Feng. Ximen Feng, who was about to say that he wasn't interested, suddenly shut his mouth. "Bailey Ningbing? Little Feng, you know her?" Ximen Luyun was quite surprised when he heard Ximen Feng call out the phantom's name. "Not really. I've only seen her once." "Oh? This isn't your style. Why are you not interested?" "Third uncle, why are you concerned about these things at this time?" Ximen Feng might be a dandy, but he was still very smart. He vaguely guessed something. "Ha! Among the rescue teams sent by the limitless ancestor, Bailey Ningbing's grandfather, who is also the palace master of the limitless demon palace, one of the 3 strongest forces in the limitless star. This old fellow is quite sensible. He knows that they're definitely going to die, so he specially contacted me." "Is that so? Why did he contact us?" "Of course he wants to rely on our Ximen family. His condition is that he only wants his granddaughter, Bailey Ningbing, to live. He also promised that Bailey Ningbing can become the Tao companion of any direct descendant of our family. And he's willing to lead all his trusted subordinates of the limitless demon palace to become our Ximen family slaves. This is a good thing, third uncle." "Did third uncle not agree?" Ximen Feng said excitedly. This was indeed good news for him. Firstly, he was sure that Bailey Ningbing was with Chun Hao. If he wanted Bailey Ningbing, he had to capture her alive. This meant that there were unlimited possibilities. Isn't this all up to you? Although this old fellow is also at the peak of the late stage of the heavenly immortal realm and could be a great help to our family, his condition is that Bailey Ningbing can keep her freedom and not be a slave. She can only be the Tao companion of a direct descendant of our family. So if you like it, third uncle will agree to it. If you don't like it, then it doesn't matter. He's just an ordinary heavenly immortal. Our family doesn't lack. I like it. Third uncle agrees to it. When I saw this Bailey Ningbing, I was a little moved. Unfortunately, third uncle was in a hurry to get me to set off and only asked for a name. Oh? In that case, the two of you are fated. Very good. Since you like it, then third uncle will agree to it. Second update. Requesting monthly votes. Monthly votes. Can you give me one? Yesterday was an explosion at 4 o'clock p.m. Today, there are only a pitiful 2. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 540. In the Second World. Ximen Luyun asked Ximen Feng to join her. After notifying Bailey Ningbing's grandfather, Guan Nanshao, they went to the notary office of the City Lord's Mansion of Yang City. The notary office of the City Lord's Mansion represented the highest authority on the Yang planet. Once a contract was signed there, it would be restricted by the laws of the Yang planet. No one could violate it. Otherwise, they would be punished by the ruler of the Yang planet. Grandfather, in Yang City, in a palace that was obviously more than 1 level higher than the residence of Chun Hao and the other girls, Bailey Ningbing hurried over. When she saw the stalwart figure anxiously waiting at the door, she immediately cried out in pleasant surprise. "Lil Bing, you're finally here. You've worried me to death. Come, let's go to the notary office. Guan Nanchao didn't say anything and directly pulled the confused Bailey Ning Bing towards the nearby transmission array. Grandfather, why are we going to the notary office? Don't you know that our silver wing is in danger? Bailey Ning Bing asked. When Chun Hao announced that the silver wing was in danger, she found it very strange. With her grandfather's status, he should have known. So why didn't he inform her? Was he afraid that she would worry if she knew? Or was there another reason? Moreover, Chun Hao didn't say much, and Heavenly Venerable Yunru didn't even show his face for the sake of transformation. That was why she took advantage of her recovery to log into the second world again to ask her grandfather about the specific situation. She didn't expect that as soon as she logged in, she would receive several messages from her grandfather asking her to meet up immediately. Of course I know. That's why I asked you to go to the notary office. Sai, this is your only chance at survival. I have no choice but to do this. Otherwise, you'll die at the hands of the five forces like Chun Hao and the others. Grandfather, what do you mean? Although Bailey Ning Bing didn't understand the situation, she breathed a sigh of relief when she heard Guan Nanchao's words. That was right. Her grandfather doted on her the most and had placed all his hopes on her. There was no reason for him to ignore her life or death. Moreover, she believed in her grandfather's ability. For example, his grandfather's hidden wealth was not something that Limitless Immortal Palace's palace master and the others could compare to. Guan Nanchao then told Bailey Ning Bing about the irreversible crisis the Silver Wing was facing, as well as his decision to contact the Shiman family. Hearing this, Bailey Ning Bing was dumbstruck, unable to speak for a long time. Lil Bing, grandfather knows that you are very ambitious. A small direct descendant of the Shiman family is nothing in your eyes. But now, we have no other choice. The decline of the limitless ancestor can no longer save you. We can only rely on ourselves. And now, this is the only way. Don't blame your grandfather. Grandfather, how can I blame you? But for me, it's okay. No matter what, Grandpa was still an expert at the peak of the late-stage heaven immortal realm. Even if he was a servant, he still had a certain status. As long as you can master that secret technique, there will be a day when you can surpass the Shiman clan. At that time, Grandfather will naturally regain his freedom. Although it's a little unfair to you, but isn't the Shiman clan also your springboard? Do you understand Grandfather's painstaking efforts? Grandfather, I understand. That's good. Let's go. Later, be obedient and try not to let the other party see anything strange about us. The situation is pressing. No matter what the other party does, we have to endure it. Understand? But Grandfather, Heavenly Venerable Yunru, is doing his best to modify the Silver Wing. He said there's still hope. Modify the Silver Wing? With just him? Don't be naive. The Patriarch has already given up. Heavenly Venerable Yunru is just comforting you out of guilt. When the other party arrives, even he will have to abandon his physical body and escape, Guan Nanchao said. There was one more thing that Guan Nanchao did not say, and that was that the Limitless Ancestor had handed over all the power of the Limitless Star to Heavenly Venerable Yunru, who was destined to only be able to escape back to the nascent soul realm. This was also one of the important reasons why he colluded with the Shiman clan. He was an ambitious person, and had always been. Otherwise, where did his enormous wealth come from? This was a secret. What did it mean that he could collude with Shiman Liyun at this time? This was also a secret. A secret that even the Limitless Ancestor did not know. And he still had his greatest secret, and that was his granddaughter, Bailey Ningbing. She was his hope. 4 hours later, the Shiman clan, which was the most powerful clan, sent out 4 orders to the other 4 aircrafts. Shameless. Mother of Asterisk Kerr, why did the Shiman clan change their strategy at this time? What else can they rely on? Strength. Strength that we can't afford to offend. Junior brother, in any case, our goal is only to kill that Chun Hao. Nothing else matters. Since they've decided, we'll just obey and save us the effort. Humph, senior brother, I still want a few maids. We can't just agree like that. No matter how strong they are, they can't let us come here for nothing, right? That's not a problem. I believe the Shiman clan isn't that overbearing. Since they want to capture him alive, we'll naturally have a share of all the captives. Let's speed up. Since we've already confirmed that he's on our path, we should lock onto him first. Chi. The Black Hawk, which was still spiraling forward, suddenly turned into a stream of light, locked onto a direction, and began to move forward at a terrifying speed. At the same time, the aircraft of the Shiman clan and the other 3 aircraft on the main path all changed their course and accelerated toward the same target. Chun Hao and the others didn't know that the black star fragment they were hiding in had been exposed because of one of their own. He and everyone, except for a certain person who already knew, were still working together to survive. Master, the most complicated power system has been completed. Should we integrate it first, or continue to refine the other parts? Old God asked. Install it first. Perhaps it was his natural instinct for danger. Although success was imminent, Chen Hao felt his heart palpitate from time to time. This feeling made him feel faintly uneasy. Therefore, at this moment, he would rather stop refining and waste some time to integrate the refined power system parts into the Silver Wing. Although it wouldn't take much time to integrate with the Silver Wing, it wasn't something that ordinary true essence could do. After all, even if Chun Hao had comprehended all the runes of the Silver Wing, he still had to dismantle a part of it if he wanted to integrate it. This required more powerful and high-level energy. In other words, it had to be the true essence of a late-stage heaven celestial expert. Therefore, when Heavenly Lord Yuanru recovered to his peak state, Chun Hao directly stopped absorbing everyone's energy and entered the control room. Senior brother, I've completed part of the refining. I want to integrate it with the Silver Wing first. It's safer this way. Okay, I'll listen to you, Heavenly Lord Yuanru said. Well, after this part of the fusion, our Silver Wing can instantly accelerate to about 20 times its original speed. The duration depends on the endurance of our materials. I'm not sure about the specifics. So powerful, this is only under normal circumstances. If we can collect more high-level materials. Of course, if our true essence is stronger and our realm is higher, then it's really powerful. Now, this is all we can do. Senior brother, directly increase your strength to your peak state later and listen to my instructions. Okay. Swish. Chen Hao's mind was running at full speed. His relatively weak, true essence flowed into the power system of the Silver Wing with his mind. After confirming several key positions of the protection of the rune formation, Chun Hao suddenly issued an order. Hiss, hiss, hiss. In an instant, Heavenly Lord Yuanru's pure and majestic true essence turned into his most delicate and powerful strength. Like steel needles, it pierced into the key points of the protection formation that Chun Hao had pointed out. Open for me. Chun Hao shouted softly and activated the formation at the same time. Squeak. The all-out attack of an expert at the Earth's celestial stage couldn't damage it at all. An expert at the peak of the heaven celestial stage could at most damage it. Suddenly, the key points of the Silver Wing, which couldn't be broken, opened slowly like a door. Complex runes and strange objects appeared in front of the two of them. They were things that Empyrean Yuanru could not understand at all. Phew. Okay, I can do it myself. Swish, 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 swish. Chun Hao's hands were as fast as lightning. He skillfully and quickly sent out streams of energy. In an instant, countless strange-looking parts were dismantled. Heavenly Lord Yuanru was worried that Chun Hao couldn't reassemble them, or that the parts refined by Chun Hao couldn't be integrated. If it failed, the Silver Wing would be paralyzed. However, Heavenly Lord Yuanru didn't stop him. He didn't even voice his concerns. The result was basically doomed. What else could he say? Perhaps his junior brother, who always surprised him and created miracles, could really do something that even the Infinity Ancestor, himself, and all the higher-ups of the Wuji Star couldn't do. Undoubtedly, this was what he hoped for the most. He really couldn't bear to leave this junior brother with unlimited potential. As long as he grew up normally, he was destined to bring glory to the Wuji Star. Unfortunately, he knew very well that he couldn't even protect himself now. The only thing he could be sure of was his primordial spirit. The five forces had already joined forces. Where could he, a heaven immortal, escape in the face of so many heaven immortals? He didn't follow the infinity ancestors' instructions and make the most obvious choice, which was to escape immediately upon receiving the infinity ancestors' order. Because he couldn't do it. The anger and frustration in his heart, as well as the feelings he had for his junior brother Chun Hao and the hundreds of young men and women on the Wuji Star who had grown up under his watch, made him unable to be so heartless. The effort he had put in for the Wuji Star was far from what the infinity ancestor, who had given him authority, could imagine. Therefore, he had to wait. Wait for the other forces to come. Wait for the real, desperate situation. Then he would leave. Although this was meaningless, at least he had a clear conscience. At least, even if his junior brother and the others died, they would know that he had done his best. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 541. Dismantle, Reassemble, Fuse. Heavenly Lord Yuanru stared blankly as Chun Hao took out the newly refined parts that were of a different color from the original parts due to the different materials used. Then, he reassembled them one by one into the new parts, fitting them together seamlessly and precisely without any errors. From this, it could be confirmed that Chun Hao's modification this time had definitely gone through careful planning. But in fact, Chun Hao had only borrowed his power to open the ceiling rune array in the control room when he was about to fuse them. Phew, it's done. 4 hours later, Chun Hao heaved a long sigh of relief. He had finally completed the modification of the power system. Buzz. With Chun Hao's mind, the entire silver wing suddenly began to vibrate violently. Under the protection of the rune arrays in the cabin, no one felt anything. But from the outside, one could see that the silver wing was emitting movements dozens of times stronger than when they had set off from the Wuji Star. It was like an eagle that was about to spread its wings, full of power. This was purely a feeling. Only Chun Hao, who was in control of the silver wing, could have such a feeling. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The rumbling outside grew louder and louder under Chun Hao's control. Chun Hao carefully sensed the acceleration of the power system. He only stopped when Old God reminded him and looked at Heavenly Lord Yuanru, who was watching him. How is it? Heavenly Lord Yuanru asked expectantly. It's not as effective as expected. The material of the star fragments is not good enough. It can instantly increase the speed to 18 times the original speed. That's the limit. If it goes any higher, the power system will collapse, Chun Hao said regretfully. 18 times. It's really 18 times? It shouldn't be wrong, Chun Hao said with a smile. Good, very good. If that's the case, although our speed may not be as fast as the Shiman clan's aircraft, it should not be much inferior to the other four forces. We still have hope of escaping. Junior brother, we can't wait any longer. We have to change our course now and go back. As long as we can return to the Wuji Star, we'll be saved. Senior brother, the speed I'm talking about isn't the speed of a stable flight. It's the speed of an instantaneous increase. It can only last for a few minutes, Chun Hao said embarrassedly. It seemed that Heavenly Sovereign Yuanru had misunderstood him because he hadn't explained in detail at the start. What would happen if he could maintain 18 times the speed for a long time? He could easily escape from the other party's pursuit. Just like what Heavenly Lord Yuanru had said, they just needed to return. It would only take a few days to get back to the Wuji Star. Then what's the use of it? Of course it's useful. You'll know when I've finished modifying the attack, defense, and detection systems. All right, senior brother, you should recover first. I'll continue looking for them. A million li away, a brilliant ray of light was gradually extinguished. It slowed down and withdrew its aura. It should be this star fragment. Lock onto the target and slowly approach it. Activate close-range exploration mode. Wong. A moment later, the image of the silver wing appeared on the huge screen. It's really here. Senior brother, if it weren't for the Shiman family's tyranny, we would have no problem capturing all of them alive. At most, Heavenly Lord Yuanru would have escaped. Without the Shiman family, we wouldn't have known the exact location. We'll admit it. I still feel that something is off. There's no way the Shiman family would have such specific information. Moreover, they know that Heavenly Lord Yuanru hasn't escaped. If I'm not mistaken, it should be the higher-ups of the Wuji Star who leaked the information. I just don't know why they would want to destroy Heavenly Lord Yuanru at all costs. In the Blackhawk, two elites at the peak of the later stage of the human celestial stage looked at the silver wing on the screen. That's easy. Heavenly Lord Yuanru is the Wuji Star's most valued disciple. He has controlled the Wuji Star for many years. He must be the one who leaked the information. He wants to seize power. That should be it. All right, I'll send a message to the Shiman family now. It's confirmed. We're just waiting for the net to be pulled in. If we can successfully destroy Heavenly Lord Yuanru and help Guan Nanchao in private, it'll be perfect for him to temporarily control the Wuji Star. Our Shiman family will have the Wuji Star in advance. Haha, third uncle, someone's here. Heavenly Lord Mo Wu and Heavenly Lord Black Dragon from the Black Rock planet have arrived. We'll be here in one day. When the other three families arrive, it'll be time for us to pull in the net. Ha! I didn't expect this operation to be so perfect. Third uncle, I really have to thank Guan Nanchao for this. Oh, Shiman Feng replied. He stared at the screen and said, Third uncle, if we can capture all of them alive, then give me Chun Hao. I really want to know why this guy is so strong. He's just a member of the Wuji Star. How did he trigger the hidden condition of the Second World Arena? No way. Why? It's not that I don't want to promise you, but I can't. Chun Hao is someone the four families must kill. Even if they capture him alive, they must kill him on the spot. Otherwise, how can they be satisfied? Their goal is nothing more than to replace the Wuji Star. What difference does it make whether they kill Chun Hao or not? If I make Chun Hao my slave, he won't have any hope of being chosen by the higher-ups. If they don't want to, it shouldn't be a problem to give them some compensation, right? Little Feng, you're right, but they won't agree to this. Moreover, I can't do this. This time, we've made an agreement with them. Secondly, this Chun Hao is not someone who can be stopped by the mark of slave. You should know that once a slave becomes a Daluo Jinxian, the mark of a slave will lose its effect. What will happen then? Don't talk about this. It's impossible. Let's not talk about other things. With the talent this kid has shown so far, there's no doubt he'll become a Daluo Jinxian. Otherwise, our Shiman family and the other four families wouldn't pay so much attention to him. Third uncle, how about this? Let me play with him for a while, okay? I'll plant the mark of a slave on him, and I can get what I want from him. Third uncle, think about it. He's just a descendant of the Wuji Star. For him to have such high talent, he must have a big secret. It's a pity to kill such a genius. Give me a year and a half to learn what I need to learn from him. It won't be too late to kill him then. Third uncle, I have to become stronger as fast as possible. I'm serious. If you don't help me, the position of patriarch will definitely be snatched away by Shiman Guang in the future. Third uncle, Shiman Feng grabbed Shiman Liuyun's arm and said with a sincere and pitiful look, all right, we'll discuss it with them. If it's possible, no, third uncle, it's fine even if we give them some benefits. We have to settle this. I have a feeling that if I can get Chun Hao's secret, my cultivation will definitely advance by leaps and bounds. Not to mention anything else. Third uncle, have you heard that he won 10,000 consecutive victories in the arena and almost tied with the invincible immortal Dragony? This isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is that he displayed 3 types of Sword Dao will and an extremely exquisite battle talent. Third uncle, I won't hide it from you. The main reason I came here this time is because of this. Shiman Feng saw that his third uncle had relented and immediately increased his attack. Shiman Liuyun was a little surprised as he stared at Shiman Feng. After a few seconds, his face revealed a doting and excited smile and said, Little Feng, your current appearance is more like your third uncle, and you have grown up and also truly understand that strength is everything. This is very good. Third uncle promises you, but I'll give you at most 3 years. Yes, yes, third uncle, you're even better to me than my father. Cough, cough. A strange look flashed across Shimin Liuyun's eyes. He suppressed his excitement and said, Third uncle watched you grow up, so I naturally have to treat you well. All right, you can go and cultivate now. Yes. Master, the detection component is complete. Integrate it first? Just as the Black Hawk locked onto the silver wing for 4 hours, the voice of Old God sounded in Chunhao's mind. Yes. Without turning off the control core, Chunhao only took 15 minutes to easily integrate the signal booster, amplification receiver, and other products that were a combination of technology and magical powers that he had refined himself into the Silver Wings detection system. Buzz. If nothing goes wrong, the detection range can be increased by 10 times to about 5 million miles. Staring at the rapidly expanding image of the scenery on the control screen, Chunhao, who was about to verify the effect of his modification, suddenly narrowed his eyes. There's an aircraft? Heavenly Lord Yuanru frowned and said in surprise, Target locked. Zoom in. Hiss. The red that appeared on the screen suddenly expanded rapidly. Immediately, a black aircraft appeared on the screen, and at the same time, information was displayed. Distance, 10342,000 miles. Aircraft volume, 11,243 asterisk 3241 by 1542. Length, width, height. Just its volume alone was more than 10 times the size of the Silver Wing. Junior brother, we've been locked onto. Heavenly Lord Yuanru clenched his fists tightly, his eyes shining with a strong desire to fight and anger. Phew! Chunhao also took a deep breath. His deep black eyes flickered as he said, They clearly have the strength to kill us. Moreover, it was a sneak attack, but they didn't make a move. Could it be that they want to capture us alive? And it's obvious that they've allied with the other major forces. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to do this. I'm afraid they want to kill us for real. Heavenly Lord Yuanru shook his head and said. At this moment, his mood became very complicated. He looked at Chunhao and said, Junior brother, if I give up on you now and escape alone, I still have a chance. If we wait any longer, I'm afraid I won't be able to escape even if I'm a primordial spirit. Do you blame me? Second update, please subscribe, monthly votes, and recommendation votes. Thank you. I hope everyone will support Dark Mountain. There will be more updates tonight. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 542. Chunhao was shocked in his heart, and then he frowned. He pondered deeply for a moment before a bright light flashed in his eyes, and he said, Senior brother, you knew that they would act in this way since the beginning, right? You don't have to deny it. I should have thought of it. When I came back from collecting materials, you should have known the result. Senior brother, thank you. Senior brother, thank you for your understanding. But now I have to leave. The situation is more complicated than Master expected. Although I don't know who leaked the news, there must be some internal problems. There's no doubt about that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have arrived so quickly. Heavenly Master Yuanru said with a gloomy and worried look. According to the information given to him by the Wuji ancestor, even the Black Rock planet, which was the first to set off, could not have arrived so quickly. After all, before they could determine the exact location of the Silver Wing, they had to search for it. So what if their aircraft was fast? But now, the other party had arrived a few days earlier, and they clearly had the strength to attack and kill them, but they did not do so. Instead, they waited. It's not that I don't want to be loyal. If possible, I would rather you live. Master has already cut off all means of retreat and chosen the most dangerous choice. If we succeed, after 50 years, not only will the Wuji star not lose its status as the main star, but we will also be able to advance further. If we fail, his soul will be destroyed. There will be no possibility of him waking up again. When Master made this decision, He transferred all the authority of the Wuji star and the second world to me, and he also left me the spiritual treasure of heaven and earth to reconstruct my real body. So, Heavenly Master Yuanru looked at Chun Hao and explained guiltily. It was not his character to be indecisive, especially at such a moment of life and death. However, Heavenly Master Yuanru liked this amazing junior brother from the bottom of his heart. That was what he was really troubled about. Chun Hao frowned. After a moment of silence, he said, "Senior brother, I can't be sure whether the modification of the Silver Wing can successfully overcome this crisis. So, I don't dare to let you take the risk with me. And you are shouldering Master's mission. You should have left long ago. Why would I blame you? If it were me, I wouldn't have wasted so much time. Junior brother, senior brother, take advantage of the fact that the Shiman clan and the others haven't arrived yet. It's still easy for you to escape. I will help you attract their attention. As long as the Silver Wing is moving, given their understanding of us, they definitely won't realize that you've left. Also, I don't know how much time I can buy with you. So, senior brother, leave your physical body. I'll preserve it for you. If I succeed, you won't have to rebuild your physical body. Junior brother, Chi." Without hesitation, Chun Hao opened the exit of the Silver Wing's control room. His eyes were calm and resolute as he looked at Celestial Lord Yuanru. "Senior brother, I know you're worried about me, but don't worry. My luck has always been good. Moreover, I still have a trump card. With you here, even if you die, I won't necessarily die. Believe me, time is of the essence. Go quickly." Emperor Yuanru held Chun Hao's hand tightly and took a deep breath. "Junior apprentice brother, senior apprentice brother has let you down. Take care." Hiss. Hum. The moment Emperor Yuanru's essence, energy, and spirit gathered into his primordial spirit and stepped out of the Silver Wing, Chun Hao directly activated the Silver Wing. Accompanied by a terrifying vibration, the Silver Wing rose into the air at a moderate speed. Then, with a hiss, it returned in the direction of the Infinity Star. Its acceleration was maintained at the original speed of the Silver Wing, not its modified speed. Emperor Yuanru's primordial spirit concealed all of its aura. He stared deeply at the Silver Wing infinity that was rapidly flying away, his emotions surging. He didn't know if his junior brother could survive this trip, but he knew that his junior brother's actions had helped him. Originally, even if he abandoned his physical body, his primordial spirit speed could increase by 100 times. However, at most, it would only increase the speed of the enemy's aircraft by a little. Whether he could escape safely or not depended on luck. But now, with Chun Hao activating the Silver Wing to attract the enemy's attention, it would buy him a lot of time. This was enough for him to escape. They're moving? Millions of miles away, the Black Hawk, which was waiting leisurely, suddenly heard a notification sound. The two old men looked at the screen. "Ha! Isn't this a joke?" Running back was useless in the beginning. Now it's even a last-ditch struggle. Emperor Yuanru's intelligence is really admirable. Ha ha ha. Maybe he's realized the danger. Emperor Yuanru might not be putting up a last-ditch struggle. He must have thought it through and didn't want to die with everyone on the Silver Wing. He's just trying to buy himself some time. It's just that he didn't expect us to block his retreat. Well, let's retreat as well. Just keep this distance. Well, I'll inform the Shiman family and the others. Emperor Yuanru was only a primordial spirit and had completely concealed his aura. In addition, the Silver Wing was deliberately emitting strong waves of energy, so the Black Hawk couldn't detect his aura at all. To be exact, it couldn't lock onto this insignificant aura. When the Silver Wing had flown 200,000 miles away, the Black Hawk should have retreated 200,000 miles as well. When Emperor Yuanru was sure that he was out of the Black Hawk's detection range, he suddenly turned into a stream of light and flew in the opposite direction at the fastest speed toward the Yang planet. "Junior brother, I hope you're not just comforting me." Emperor Yuanru, who had left with a guilty conscience, didn't think that Chun Hao was telling the truth when he said, "Even if you die, I won't necessarily die." He only thought that Chun Hao was comforting him. His only glimmer of hope was that he had witnessed Chun Hao's modification of the Silver Wing. If the attack and defense systems could be improved to a certain level, there might still be a chance for survival. If he hadn't shouldered his master's mission and the future of the Wuji planet, he would definitely have taken the risk with Chun Hao. But now he could only leave. Master, if you do this, I'm afraid we're really in danger. Without Empyrean Yuanru's energy, even if it's a modification, our speed will be much slower. Now that we've been targeted, you still have to divert your attention to control the Silver Wing. So what? Senior brother has already been very kind to us by accompanying us until now. I can't be sure if he can survive if he stays, but if he leaves now, he'll definitely survive. I have no reason to let him gamble with us. Now it's up to us. If it's really a desperate situation, we'll enter the chaotic space storm. All right, let's start modifying the defense and attack systems. Okay, Chun Hao stepped out of the control room and once again devoured the energy of more than 80 cultivators in the cabin. At the same time, he secretly infused energy into the Silver Wing through the bottom of his feet. Chun Hao's so-called defense system was, in fact, just a modification of the Silver Wing's original foundation. He only changed the runes. After all, the materials on the Black Stellar Core fragment were far inferior to the Silver Wing itself. If he added any materials, no matter how strong the runes were, they wouldn't be able to surpass the original defense, let alone improve it. This was the same principle as a clever housewife couldn't cook without rice. The materials were one of the most basic and important factors. No one noticed that the runes on the surface of the Silver Wing were slowly changing. Inside the cabin, Chun Hao's face was extremely pale. His handsome face was covered in cold sweat, and his Taoist robe was completely soaked. But he didn't stop for a moment. However, this didn't attract anyone's attention. In fact, during this period, this happened every time Chun Hao devoured everyone's energy. What really puzzled everyone was that this time, after Chun Hao devoured the energy of all the cultivators in the Earth's celestial stage and human celestial stage, he didn't transfer it to heavenly venerable Yuanru in the control room. Instead, he let everyone take turns and continue devouring. Before they recovered, they had to start again. Even so, they were still urged by Chun Hao. He was simply ordering them around like livestock. Fortunately, everyone knew that Chun Hao was working hard for everyone. Except for Bailey Ningbing, who had a guilty conscience, no one complained. Of course, even though Bailey Ningbing was disdainful, she still poured all her energy into her, not daring to give herself away. Otherwise, she and her grandfather, and even the entire Wuji Demon Palace would have to bear the wrath of all the cultivators on the Wuji planet. It wouldn't affect her, but the direct descendants on the Wuji planet, including her mother, would be miserable 4 hours later. Phew! Defense system completed. Old God, are you sure this rune can increase the defense by 20 times? Don't worry. It definitely can. The original runes were too lousy. You've already comprehended this rune. Can't you feel the difference? I can feel it, but I can't be sure without testing it. If it can be increased by 20 times, it should be able to approach or even surpass the defense of this aircraft. Right? Humph. When the time comes, we'll destroy one of them, even if we have to take the last step. Chun Hao said fiercely, we probably won't have time to condense the attack system. Is there any way to strengthen the rune? This depends on whether Master can comprehend it. Only when you comprehend it can I brand it. All right then, give me the rune that can increase the defense by 2 times. Chun Hao gritted his teeth and said. The Silver Wing didn't have an attack system at all. It wasn't difficult for Chun Hao to refine the components and load them into the Silver Wing. The problem was that he had to refine ammunition. 1 or 2 bullets wouldn't be a problem, but he didn't have enough time to refine a lot of them. If he didn't refine enough, with his current materials and the energy crystals in the Silver Wing, he wouldn't be able to refine powerful ammunition. The damage he would cause would be limited. It was better to strengthen the defense and use the high-grade materials in the Silver Wing to make weapons with himself. Third watch, 9,000 words. Requesting monthly votes and recommendation votes. Please support and subscribe. Results are everything. Dark Mountain needs it. Please, everyone. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 543. Chi. In a chaotic space, an aircraft that could definitely be considered a giant compared to the Silver Wing was approaching the Silver Wing at astonishing speed. When it was close to the Silver Wing, it slowly slowed down and finally maintained the same speed as the Silver Wing, following at moderate speed. Haha, in another day, it will be time to catch the turtle in the jar. Shimin Luyan was confident. He held a wine glass in his hand and leisurely savored the famous wine. There was no suspense in such a battle with such a great disparity in strength. If they did not want to capture and kill Heavenly Venerable Yuanru alive, there is no need for the other forces to do it. His Shimin family alone could do it. Now, if they wanted to kill Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, they would need the combined forces of the 5 forces to be foolproof. After all, if Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, who was at the peak of the late-stage Heaven Immortal realm and had always kept a low profile, abandoned his physical body and escaped with his essence soul, none of them could take him down alone. Originally, they did not expect to truly destroy Heavenly Venerable Yuanru. What really made them make this decision was that Heavenly Venerable Yuanru did not leave the Silver Wing. He was courting death, so why would they be polite? Moreover, after Shimin Lian reached an agreement with Guanan Chao, truly destroying Heavenly Venerable Yuanru might bring even more shocking benefits to their Shimin family. Third uncle, have you told them? Shimin Feng, who was beside him, stared at the Silver Wing on the screen with a slightly nervous expression and asked worriedly. He was nervous and excited at the same time. He was nervous because he was naturally afraid of accidents. He was excited because his true love, who made him sink and go crazy, was in the Silver Wing millions of miles away. Moreover, it would not be long before he could see her in person. This feeling was definitely not comparable to meeting in the second world. No matter how real the second world was, it was not reality after all. Similarly, what Shimin Feng looked forward to was that this time he would step on a rainbow cloud to save his true love. Although he did not have any hope, at least he could let his true love know of his painstaking efforts. Don't worry. It's not too late to talk about it after we capture her. Without our permission, they won't dare to act on their own. Oh, this is the Shimin family's aircraft? It doesn't seem to be much stronger than the ones from the Black Rock planet. However, Senior Brother said that the aircraft from the Shimin family is the strongest. Chen Hao had sent out a strand of thought to control the Silver Wing airship. Before the Shimin clan's aircraft could detect the Silver Wing airship, the modified Silver Wing airship had detected it. This was something that Shimin Luyan could never have imagined. It could be said that this was something that no one could have imagined. Looks like there's not much time left. When all 5 forces arrive, it will definitely be the time for them to make their move. I hope there's enough time. Chun Hao's strand of mind felt great pressure, but most of his mind was immersed in comprehending the complicated runes given by the old god, so he was not distracted. He was using all his strength to activate every single one of his nerves to break through the defensive lines of the runes. Time ticked by slowly. 4 hours later, another space plane appeared in another direction without making sound. 18 hours later, the 4th ship arrived. The strand of consciousness Chun Hao left behind also became more and more nervous. The last ship would be the time for the other party to make their move. How long would it take? It could be the next minute, or it could be a few hours later. However, he was stuck at the last level of the runes. He had been stuck for 2 hours, but he still had no clue. Master, the most important part of this rune is the last level. If you can comprehend it, the chances of us surviving with the Silver Wing airship will increase to 50%. If you can't, you can only transform the runes you've comprehended now and integrate them into the Silver Wing airship. The chances are only 10%. Why is the gap so big? Old God, I feel that the runes I've comprehended can increase the defense of the Silver Wing airship by 2 times. Indeed, increasing the defense by 2 times is 40 times the original defense of the Silver Wing airship. It's definitely stronger than the defense of any of their aircraft. However, Each of their aircraft has an expert at the peak of the advanced stage of the Heaven Celestial stage. Even if we can destroy one of their aircraft, we will be besieged by their experts at the Heaven Celestial stage. The Silver Wing airship was originally able to withstand the attack of an Earth Celestial stage expert. If it's 40 times stronger, it can also withstand the attack of a Heaven Celestial stage expert. However, it can't withstand much. In the end, it will still be destroyed by them. Therefore, the last level of this rune, which is also the most important level, I've integrated a strong shielding system into it. In front of their detection system, it should be able to achieve absolute invisibility. Old God, are you serious? Cough, cough. Of course it's true. It depends on whether you can comprehend it, Master. However, this invisibility has its drawbacks. In the state of invisibility, if the Silver Wing airship is still flying and the energy fluctuations are too strong, it will definitely be discovered. However, even so, we can still appear and disappear unpredictably. The chances of escaping should be increased to 50%. Enough. I must comprehend it. I must comprehend it. I hope there's still time. Chunhao instantly realized how important this last level was. Master, you've been trapped for 2 hours. Maybe it's because you've never come into contact with this kind of rune. How about this? I'll give you some basic runes of this rune first. If you can comprehend it, I think it will open your mind. F*CK? Why didn't you say so earlier? Hurry up. Upon hearing the old god's words, Chunhao, who was controlling the Silver Wing airship outside, cursed angrily. Mother of*Ker, we're already in such a dangerous situation, and I don't have the slightest clue for 2 whole hours. Old God, this guy is actually saying something now. I just found out that you've been trapped for 2 hours. You didn't tell me. I'll give it to you now. The old god quibbled for a while and directly poured some basic runes into Chunhao's mind. In this tense atmosphere, time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, another hour had passed. On the other hand, Chunhao, who was immersed in his comprehension, fell into a state of excitement. The runes, from simple to complex, seemed to have opened up a bright path for Chunhao that led to the palace. It was as if they were laying down a foundation for him, and they were constantly being broken through by Chunhao. After 2 hours, Chunhao finally comprehended all the runes that the old god had poured into him, from simple to complex. Once again, he began to break through the last barrier. It had to be said that this time, Chunhao was filled with inspiration. The last level, which he had no clue about, now had all kinds of wonderful ideas and insights in his mind. The previous comprehension had become a run-up for Chunhao, and now he was finally unstoppable. Boom! With an explosion in his mind, Chunhao let out an excited howl. I've comprehended it. So that's how it is. Ha! Damn it, old god, let's start. Not good. Just as he was comprehending it, the Silver Wing's modified detection system suddenly beeped again. 5 million miles away, a stream of light was rapidly approaching. Let's do it. Hiss. Chunhao directly appeared in the cabin of the Silver Wing. Pour in energy with all your might. Everyone together, give it your all. Life and death depend on this moment. If you have enough energy, we can live. If your energy can't meet the needs of Heavenly Lord Yuanru, we will die. Begin. Okay. Perhaps they had sensed Chunhao's determined and nervous tone. At this moment, they no longer hesitated. One by one, they pushed their true essence to the limit and madly poured it into Chunhao. As for Chunhao and the old god, they were madly transforming the runes that they had just comprehended into the Silver Wing. No one sensed anything special. The Silver Wing still maintained its fixed direction and speed, flying in the chaotic space. The other 4 ships blocked in 4 directions, all maintaining the same speed. The turtle in the jar operation is about to begin. Everyone get ready. We must not let Heavenly Lord Yuanru's primordial spirit escape. When he received the arrival of the last force, Shimin Luyun issued an order. He, who had been sitting leisurely in the comfortable armchair, also stood up at this time. A majestic and terrifying aura surged around him. Chi, Seeing that the five forces had gathered and were about to form an encirclement, the silver wing that no one took seriously suddenly emitted an incomparably resplendent white light. Its tail spewed out a 1,000-mile long energy light belt. At the same time, how is this possible? What's going on? It can't be. F***CK. It could still speed up? It increased by 10 times? The four aircraft that were 1,000,000 miles away from the silver wing and had locked onto it burst out in exclamations of disbelief at the same time. They had long known about the information about the infinite silver wing, but now, how could it suddenly increase its speed by 10 times? Could it be? Shimin Luyan thought of the information revealed by Bailey Ningbing when he signed the agreement with Guan Nanchao. At that time, he and Guan Nanchao had only laughed at the news, which was that Heavenly Lord Yuanru was trying to modify the silver wing. This Heavenly Lord Yuanru is indeed hiding his strength. I didn't expect him to be a refining expert, but is he trying to escape with 10 times the speed? Chase after him. Boom, boom, boom. There is no need for Shimin Luyan to give the order at all. The four aircraft suddenly accelerated at full speed. The aircraft that was still a few million miles away was about to slow down, but at this moment, after receiving the sudden news from Shimin Luyan, while surprised, it suddenly accelerated again and rushed toward the position specially designated for him to intercept and kill. Faster, faster. In the cabin of the Silver Wing, Chun Hao's hurried voice rang in everyone's ears as if it was a matter of life and death. Everyone pushed themselves to the limit, but even so, Chun Hao was still howling. Damn it, he simply did not treat people as humans. In less than 10 minutes, the cultivators of the immortal realm, with slightly weaker cultivation, had exhausted their energy and collapsed with pale faces. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 544. Try your best to recover. To tell you the truth, we have reached the moment of life and death. Let me show you. Chen Hao knew that if he didn't use his full strength, no matter how obedient they were, they wouldn't be able to unleash their full potential. Especially when he saw those who had run out of energy, fell down like dead pigs, and wanted to rest. He was sure of this. Moreover, Heavenly Lord Yuanru didn't say anything, and he couldn't say anything. His prestige couldn't make these people risk their lives. They were even disgusted by his commanding tone, especially those powerhouses at the Earth Celestial stage. In fact, if they didn't know that Chun Hao was the core disciple of the Infinity Ancestor and that Chun Hao was destined to have an awesome future, they would have quit. How could they be obedient and not complain? Whoosh! Just at this moment, along with Chun Hao's words, a huge screen appeared in front of the cabin of the Silver Wing, which was marked with various data. Although none of the people in this area had seen the screen controlled by grass, they weren't idiots. On the contrary, they were all outstanding geniuses in the Wuji Star. Naturally, they understood the content of the screen at a glance. Did you see that? This is the moment of life and death. 5 battleships have almost surrounded us. In each battleship, there are at least 2 powerhouses at the peak of the advanced stage of the Heaven Celestial stage. What does this mean? I don't need to explain it to you. The reason why you can see is the work of Heavenly Lord Yuanru. Part of his modification has been completed. Our original detection system only has a detection range of 500,000 miles. Now, it has a detection range of 5 million miles. Our flying speed has increased by 10 times. Otherwise, we would have been dead by now. But this is far from enough, and we can't escape from their pursuit. We need to complete the final modification as soon as possible. This is also the most important modification for us. This requires your true core strength. Chun Hao's cold voice was like a sharp sword, which stabbed people's hearts mercilessly. Looking at the approaching aircraft on the screen, everyone's expressions changed. If you don't want to die, try your best. We are racing against time, and we are going against heaven's will. Fight with our lives. We can only fight with our lives. This is the only thing we can do for Heavenly Lord Yuanru. Come on, As long as we succeed in the last step, we will have a chance at survival. Fight! I'll do it. I'm going all out. I have no hope of becoming a celestial immortal anyway. It was good that he was able to survive. Burn for me. Boom. An explosion sound suddenly erupted from the body of a powerhouse at the Earth's celestial stage, emitting a dazzling and dense radiance. He was burning his lifespan. Thank you. Limitless Star needs warriors like you. If you can survive, Yuanru Tianzuan, no limitless ancestor will definitely heal your soul. While Chunhao was slightly surprised, he immediately preached and said something that he had never said before, something that could bewitch people. Their expressions were filled with worship and passion as they looked at the warrior who had directly burned his lifespan. This made the cultivator feel extremely proud. After all, Chunhao was the disciple of Limitless Ancestor and was known as the #1 genius of Limitless Star. How could he not feel proud to be worshipped by him and given such a precious promise? After all, in order to survive, he was willing to sacrifice a little of his lifespan. In fact, it didn't affect him much. After all, he was already at the peak of the later stage of the Earth's celestial stage, and he felt that he had no hope of advancing to the heaven's celestial stage. For survival, for the honor of Limitless Star, I'll do it. Perhaps they were inspired by the leading warrior. The young cultivators who had never lacked enthusiasm suddenly became crazy. The number of people who were burning their lifespan increased rapidly. Of course, these people were in the same situation as the first warrior. Sister, Brother Hao is risking his life. We must take the lead. At this moment, the sisters, who were becoming more and more obedient and sensible, looked at each other. Suddenly, 2 dazzling rays of light burst out from their bodies. Apparently, they had made a decision. Chunhao, who instantly caught the sister's aura, was dumbfounded. These 2 silly girls, I'm just fooling others. How can I bear to let you sacrifice yourselves? Besides, those who are willing to sacrifice themselves don't have much future prospects. Even if they burn some of their lifespan, it won't affect them much in the future. Why are you joining in the fun? Chunhao didn't dare to hesitate. He directly transmitted a message to stop them sternly. The sisters were stunned for a moment, and then they blushed. Finally, they didn't burn their lifespan stupidly. Chi. It took a long time to describe, but in fact, it happened in the blink of an eye. In a short period of time, energy that was countless times stronger than before was crazily poured into Chunhao's body from everyone's bodies. Chunhao was also immersed in the final struggle. The silver wing, which was flying at 10 times the speed, opened up a certain distance in the beginning because of the instantaneous acceleration. However, Chunhao knew that it wouldn't take long for the other party to catch up. It wasn't that their speed was faster, but that the silver wing couldn't maintain this speed for a long time. Moreover, Chunhao already had a plan. This wasn't the time to expose the true power of the silver wing. Very good. As expected, people are all forced. Chunhao could not help but think to himself as he sensed the terrifying and majestic energy. At the same time, he also saw hope. The speed of modifying and fusing runes had increased by 5 times. This was a speed that Chunhao couldn't achieve even when Heavenly Lord Yuanru was at his peak state. It had to be said that the power brought by burning one's lifespan was absolutely powerful and heaven-defying. An hour later, the 5 streaks of light were getting closer and closer. The silver wing's speed was getting slower and slower. The energy belt on its tail that was originally thousands of miles long was now only 100 miles long, like a dog running away with its tail between its legs. It was getting weaker and weaker. Planet Blackrock, Planet Demonic Ant, Planet Dragon Snake, Planet Lone Horse, listen up. We'll attack at the same time in 1 minute. We can't let Heavenly Lord Yuanru escape. Unless there's no other choice, don't destroy him first. Try to capture him alive. Okay, no problem. Yes, that's the way it should be. This old guy is actually such a brilliant refining expert. The value he contains is infinite. Chi. At this moment, the cabin doors of the 5 aircraft control rooms opened under the protection of a layer of dense light curtain. Shimin Luyun and a total of 8 experts at the peak of the late-stage heaven celestial stage walked to the edge of the cabin door. In just 1 minute, it will be the time for them to launch their joint attack. It had to be said that the amazing changes that the Silver Wing had shown had really caused this group of people to go crazy. Originally, Shimin Luyun and the top experts in each aircraft had no intention of moving. They only needed to control the aircraft and let the other experts at the peak of the late-stage heaven celestial stage move out at the same time. But now, the top experts in each aircraft had moved out. At the same time, the control of the aircraft was handed over to the slightly weaker experts at the heaven celestial stage. Shimin Feng looked nervously at the Silver Wing that was running away with its tail wagging. He was both worried and expectant. He was silently counting down the seconds in his heart. No one knew that 5 minutes ago, the runes on the inner and outer walls of the Silver Wing, which had been forced to slow down, had undergone subtle changes silently. No one knew that in the Silver Wing, except for Chun Hao, who had directly entered the control room, all the cultivators were sitting on the ground, bathing in the spiritual spring and staring at the huge screen in front of them. Success. Everyone knew that at the last moment, at the most critical moment, Heavenly Lord Yuanru had succeeded. Of course, this was announced by Chun Hao. Now, whether they lived or died depended on the effect of Heavenly Lord Yuanru's transformation. It was no longer something they could control. However, everyone present, including Chun Hao's closest sisters, did not know that Heavenly Lord Yuanru, who they had placed all their hopes on, was no longer in the Silver Wing at this moment. Everything was controlled by Chun Hao, a cultivator at the late stage of the human celestial stage. Attack. Chi. 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 When the 1-minute time limit was finally up, the dense light shields of the 5 aircraft suddenly opened. In an instant, 8 figures surrounded the Silver Wing at a terrifying speed like meteors. Heavenly Lord Yuanru, if you don't want everyone to die, surrender obediently. Shimin Liyun's resounding voice penetrated the heavy defenses of the Silver Wing and directly resounded in the Silver Wing. This made everyone in the Silver Wing turn slightly pale, except for Bailey Ningbing. A group of idiots, come at me. We of the Wuji Star, even if we die, will definitely make you shameless people pay a heavy price. Ha ha ha. At this moment, the voice of Heavenly Lord Yuru suddenly burst out. Through the amplification of the Silver Wing, it gave people a sense of incomparable arrogance and arrogance. But at this moment, the voice of Heavenly Lord Yuanru made the cultivators in the Silver Wing feel their blood boil. You're courting death. Arrogant. You're courting death. Isn't it just a modification of the aircraft, and you're so confident? I'd like to see what qualifications you have to be so arrogant. Chi. 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 The 8 figures suddenly accelerated again and rushed toward the Silver Wing. When the 8 of them were still 1,000 miles away from the Silver Wing and were about to enter their attack range, Chun Hao revealed a cruel and cold smile. Boom! At that moment, what no one expected was that the Silver Wing suddenly burst out with an extremely terrifying energy wave. With a hum, it trembled violently and shot out like a cannonball. How much did its speed increase? 20 times. This was the maximum speed of the Silver Wing after Chun Hao modified it. It could only maintain the maximum speed for a short period of time. What made the pilots on the Lone Horse Stars aircraft change their expressions even more. At this moment, the Silver Wing was actually flying toward them. It was actually going to collide with them. Oh no! Dodge! Chi! Although the pilot knew that the defense of his aircraft was definitely more impressive than that of the Silver Wing. That was the Silver Wing of the past. What about now? This guy's face was pale with fright, and he desperately changed direction. If you like this work, you're welcome to vote for it at Chidian. Come. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 545. Bastard. Get out of here. You're courting death. The Pegasus Star had the weakest aircraft, but it had sent 3 experts at the Heaven Celestial stage. At this moment, The two stronger experts had rushed out of their aircraft and were standing between the Silver Wing and their aircraft. They were gathering their strength and preparing to join forces with others to control the Silver Wing. However, this sudden change forced them to turn their condensed confinement power into violent attacks to block the Silver Wing's desperate attack. Boom! Boom! Two explosive sounds rang out, and the energy currents that covered the sky transformed into two small mountains. As long as they could hit the Silver Wing, even if the modified Silver Wing's defense was very strong and couldn't heavily injure it, it wouldn't be a problem to block it. However, just when everyone thought that the two experts would succeed, swish, rumble. What shocked the Shemin clan and the other four forces was that the small Silver Wing airship actually spouted a torrent of energy from the side of the airship, which caused the Silver Wing airship to perform a great universal shift and evade the attacks of the two people as fast as lightning. After bypassing the two people, the Silver Wing airship once again spouted a torrent of energy. In an instant, the Silver Wing airship locked on to the airship of the Pegasus Star. The Silver Wing was 20 times faster than its original speed. Even the aircraft of the Shemin family couldn't avoid this sudden attack, let alone the weakest aircraft of the Pegasus Star. The experts at the Heaven Celestial stage who flew out from the other directions couldn't make it in time. How could the flying speed of the Heaven Celestial stage be compared with that of the aircraft? Otherwise, they wouldn't have to get so close to the Silver Wing and jump out of the aircraft to close the net. Bang! Rumble. Finally, under the astonishment of the five forces, the tiny body of Silver Wing crashed into the aircraft of the Heavenly Horse Planet, which was 4 or 5 times larger than it was, like a moth darting into a flame. The horrible crash was deafening, accompanied by strong energy light. The tip of the Silver Wing's head was like a sharp sword that stabbed into the head of the aircraft of the Pegasus Star. Under the effect of inertia, the small aircraft and the large aircraft touched each other at negative distance and traveled thousands of miles in an instant. Stop it! Hurry up! Swish! 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 The 8 experts at the Heaven Celestial stage and the other 4 aircraft finally came to themselves in great shock. They suddenly accelerated to the maximum speed and rushed over. Swish! Rumble! However, at this moment, the Silver Wing suddenly spurted out dazzling brilliance again and escaped from the enemy's aircraft like a streak of light. How could it be so fast? How can his defense be so strong? Shimin Luyun and the others were shocked to the extreme. Seeing this scene, they, who had originally thought that victory was in their hands, felt their hearts turn to ashes at this moment. They were in despair. A collision had caused the Pegasus Star's aircraft to be severely damaged, but seemed to be fine. If that was the case, it would be fine, but its fleeing speed was so fast that it was faster than the Shemin family's aircraft at its peak speed. How could they chase after it? How could he catch up? No, there's something wrong with the energy flow it's spewing out. It can't be sustained. Look, it's slowing down. Senior brother, come back quickly. Let's chase after it. The Heaven Immortal stage expert on the Black Rock planet looked at the Silver Wing on the screen and suddenly discovered problem. He hurriedly shouted through voice transmission. Chase. We can't let them escape. His streaks of light directly re-entered the aircraft under the guidance of the aircraft. This also announced the failure of their first encirclement. The Pegasus Star's aircraft was the most miserable. Its head was smashed. Fortunately, the internal control center's defense was incomparably strong. Only part of the shell's defense on the head was damaged, and its core was not damaged. Otherwise, this expensive aircraft would probably be scrapped. Buzz, 5 streaks of light quickly chased after the Silver Wing that had been forced to slow down. Inside the Shemin family's aircraft, Shemin Feng looked at the screen with a surprised and somewhat dazed expression. His emotions were complicated and contradictory. He hoped that Chun Hao could escape this disaster, and it would be best if he could escape this disaster himself. Therefore, when he saw the Silver Wing suddenly display an abnormal ability, he was naturally happy. However, the data displayed on the control screen clearly showed that the Silver Wing could not be sustained in this state. What did this mean? It meant that it would be difficult for it to escape the clutches of everyone in the end. In this way, this crazy desperation could anger everyone and lead to a destructive outcome. At that time, he would really be helpless. Therefore, he hoped that Heavenly Venerable Yuanru would surrender immediately. In that case, although he would have to bear the consequences, at least he could ensure Chun Hao's safety, and that would be enough. Be asterisk starred. Be asterisk starred. Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, I will destroy your body and soul. The 3 Heaven Immortal stage experts of the Pegasus Star were furious. Although the aircraft's core was not damaged, the cost of repairing it was bound to be huge. Moreover, they had suffered a loss in the first encounter. It was simply humiliating. Ha ha! Well done, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru. Kill these F*** curs. Yes, kill them all. Destroy one of them. We will die content. Awesome. Awesome. Unlike the anger of the Pegasus Star and the shock of the other 4 forces, in the Silver Wing, the cultivators who were staring at the huge screen were very excited. They were already in a desperate situation and had already mentally prepared themselves for death. Especially when they saw the 8 Heaven Immortals approaching them. They were so nervous that their hearts were in their throats. However, the Silver Wing's sudden outburst had made them all excited. They really admired Heavenly Venerable Yuanru. 30% of the head is damaged. Everyone, cheer up and give me energy. Heavenly Venerable Yuanru needs to be repaired immediately. Also, this battle is bound to be a tug of war and may last for a long time. So, everyone must do their best to recover at all times and keep yourself in peak condition. At this time, Chun Hao appeared in front of everyone again. His expression was cold and calm, but he said hurriedly, "Okay, listen up all of you. This Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's refining ability is quite terrifying. If we want to capture them, we must be ruthless. This time, we must get close to them before we attack. Don't be afraid of his collision. He will injure the enemy by 1,000, but he will also injure himself by 800. Among our 5 aircrafts, even the weakest one, the Pegasus Star, is not inferior to it. Under our siege, the Silver Wing will definitely be the first to be destroyed. At that time, we will attack with all our strength and destroy the Silver Wing first. Understand?" Okay, understood. It was a long story, but in fact, it was only a few minutes. The 2 aircrafts from the Shiman family and the Blackrock Star had approached quickly and slowed down. It cannot be helped. Chun Hao did not do it on purpose. He could only maintain 20 times the speed for a short while. In such a short period of time, even if everyone provided enough energy, Chun Hao could not completely repair the damage of the Silver Wing. However, Chun Hao was not in a hurry. He had specially strengthened the 4 parts of the Silver Wing to hit the aircrafts. At the same time, he had not used his real trump card yet. Furthermore, his first success in this battle had also increased his confidence in escaping. They are coming again. Crash. Kill them. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. When the 5 aircrafts were even closer to the Silver Wing than the last time, 8 Heaven Immortals suddenly jumped out. Go to hell. With a furious roar, he immediately launched a violent attack at the Silver Wing battleship. With the support of inertia, even though he was not in attack range, he was able to block the Silver Wing battleship's reckless attack in advance. Chi! Boom! As expected, the Silver Wing burst out a terrifying energy torrent at the same time, and its speed soared again. However, this time, it did not crash into the aircrafts. Instead, it chose the largest gap between the 5 aircrafts to escape. It had to be said that it was impossible for 5 aircrafts to seal off all directions of the Silver Wing airship when there were so many openings in space. The 8 Heaven Immortals might be able to do it, but with their speed, they had to rely on the aircrafts to get close to the Silver Wing. At this moment, they had just come out. How could they form an all-round blockade? This was the space that Chun Hao could take advantage of. Break! Sword Star Explosion. Space-time shuttle. The first move was obviously going to fail, but at this time, the experts who had just jumped out of the aircrafts were also mentally prepared. In an instant, they launched their most powerful attacks at the Silver Wing that had suddenly accelerated. Chi! Chi, chi, boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, something unexpected happened again. The silver wing was clearly trying to escape, but it seemed to be shooting out from different directions at the same time. However, the timing was just right, and the entire silver wing suddenly changed directions at an astonishing speed, drawing a beautiful arc in the air. Ah, F*CKU. I'll kill you. For a moment, it was really just a moment of sluggishness. The Heaven Immortal and the Pegasus star saw the silver wing rapidly expand, and like a spinning top, it rushed toward him again. Even a clay figurine had its limits. It was obviously picking up a soft persimmon to pinch. After pinching it once, he wanted to pinch it a second time. This directly made the Heaven Immortal angry. Coupled with Shimin Liuyun's order, this time, not only did he not change his direction, but he also violently accelerated again to meet the silver wing head-on. Anyway, the head was already injured and the internal defense was strong. He believed that if he hit the silver wing like this, even if it might cause some internal damage, it would definitely be severely damaged. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom. Terrifying, continuous sounds of impact and explosion, like bright fireworks, erupted in the vast and endless chaotic space. Boom! Immediately, a louder and more terrifying explosion appeared, emitting a brilliance tens of thousands of times brighter than the sun, mixed with countless screams and a figure as fast as lightning shot out. No way. The people on the other 4 aircrafts were dumbfounded, and so were the 8 experts at the peak of the late stage of the Heaven Immortal stage. Destruction. The destruction of mutual destruction. In everyone's eyes, including the display on the screen of the aircrafts, the Silver Wing and the aircrafts of the Pegasus Star had all turned into debris. Only the Heaven Immortal and the Pegasus Star had escaped from the terrifying explosion, and his face and body were covered in blood from serious injuries. It was a tragic sight. A new week, looking for monthly votes and recommendation votes. Looking for subscriptions. Last week, I updated more than 8,000 words on average. This week, I'll strive for more. If you trust Dark Mountain, then support it. Only your support is true passion. I beg you all, to be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for recommendation votes and monthly votes. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 546. Hiss, 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 hiss. Amidst the continuous explosions of the aircraft, no one noticed that the countless fragments of the aircraft, as well as the energy of heaven and earth that was transformed into by the destruction of the earth immortals and human immortals, who could not resist at all, were being crazily devoured by the invisible vortexes. When the explosions were over and only the residual energy waves were left in the void, the black hand that was quietly devouring the energy also quietly disappeared. The whole process only lasted for a few seconds, which was the time it took for the Pegasus Star's aircraft to shatter. Ah, the severely injured Heaven Celestial expert screamed angrily. Looking at the debris below him, his heart was filled with hatred. He could not hold his breath, and then he spat out blood and fainted. His serious injury and anger caused him to be overwhelmed with anger. Fortunately, the other 2 Heaven Celestial experts of the Pegasus Star sent out powerful energy to wrap him up. Be careful of the escape of the primordial spirit of Lord Yuanru. Seal it. Swoosh. Shimin Luyun took the lead. In an instant, the majestic true core strength condensed into a sealing barrier that spanned hundreds of miles. Swoosh. Swoosh. At the same time, the other Heaven Immortals also took action. Although they had seen the destruction of the Silver Wing and the aircraft of the Pegasus Star, there was no reason for Lord Yuanru, an expert at the peak of the late stage of Heaven Immortal, to die in the explosion. After all, although the Heaven Immortal of the Pegasus Star was seriously injured, he still managed to escape. His body was not destroyed. Therefore, there was only one possibility. At the moment of the explosion, Lord Yuanru abandoned his body and hid his primordial spirit. Phew, No one knew that an inconspicuous airflow in the chaotic space was moving away from the troublesome place at an amazing speed with the help of the high-speed rotation inertia. Chun Hao, who was in the middle of it, stared at the scene locked on the control screen and heaved a long sigh of relief. At this moment, his handsome face was full of excitement, but his whole body was drenched in cold sweat. It was not fear, but lingering fear. In just a few seconds of life and death crisis, even the slightest miscalculation would have doomed him eternally. And now he had succeeded. No one outside could see the silver wing that had activated its greatest trump card. However, if the silver wing's current appearance was revealed, the cultivators who were cheering excitedly in the cabin would definitely be scared half to death. This was because the silver wing had been damaged to an unimaginable degree. To be precise, the silver wing could not even reach its initial basic speed. This was because the head, tail, and two sides of the silver wing had been damaged to 94%. The body of the silver wing was also heavily damaged. Fortunately, these idiots don't know that senior brother has left. It's also fortunate that the silver wing can hold on. Otherwise, I'm afraid we would have perished together. Phew! Am I taking too much a risk? Chun Hao thought to himself. In the beginning, Chun Hao had never thought of this move. It was an idea that came to him on the spur of the moment. He had even considered the possible consequences at that time. However, the arrogance, fighting spirit, and the courage to take risks in his bones still made him do it. It was dangerous, but it was satisfying. I hope they won't think of it. Chun Hao calmed down the excitement in his heart and walked out of the control room. Although his body and mind were already exhausted, he had to start recovering immediately. No, in the Shimin family's aircraft, when the Silver Wing circled and collided with the Pegasus Star's aircraft and caused a terrible explosion, Shimin Feng, who was staring at the screen, suddenly lost control of his emotions and let out a shrill and desperate scream. Then, as if his spirit had been sucked out, he slumped to the ground with a dull look on his face. You can't die, you can't die. If you die, I'll live. Young master, what's wrong with you? The Heaven Celestial stage expert who stayed behind to control the aircraft asked in shock. He hurriedly supported Shimin Feng, his heart full of confusion. Although they couldn't capture the cultivators of Silver Wing ship alive, but it was also not a bad thing. The only regret was that they couldn't fulfill the conditions of the contract between Shimin Clan and Limitless Star Guan Nan Chao. Was it necessary to be so excited? Or had the young master fallen in love with Bailey Ningbing? Looking at Shimin Feng's expression and his muffled muttering, it seemed that this was the only possibility. I didn't expect the young master, who has always been a playboy, to have such an infatuated side. However, that Bailey Ningbing is indeed a rare beauty, and she is very talented. It's a pity. The Heaven Celestial stage servant of the Shimin family was Shimin Liuyun's loyal subordinate. He knew the whole process, and he also knew how important Shimin Feng was to Shimin Liuyun. Therefore, when he thought of this, he hurriedly comforted Shimin Feng. Unfortunately, Shimin Feng seemed to be in a daze. He just stared at the screen as if he could not hear his voice at all. We have control of the surrounding thousands of miles, and there is nothing unusual. What's going on? Did Heavenly Venerable Yuan Ru also die? It should be. Otherwise, he couldn't have escaped all of our senses in such a short time. Cough, cough. At this moment, the heavily injured Heaven Celestial coughed out 2 mouthfuls of blood. He forced himself to take a breath and said, My cultivation is definitely not inferior to Heavenly Venerable Yuan Ru. During the first collision, although their flying machine had the advantage, it was only a slight advantage. It was impossible for him to penetrate a flying machine that was several times larger than ours. Otherwise, I would have dodged. But now, I think he had the will to die. So he burned his lifespan and detonated himself to activate the Silver Wing. Only in this way could he have such power. The 2 Heaven Celestials beside him wanted to F***CK this idiot, but at this time they could not say it in front of Shimin Liuyun and the others. Even if they succeeded this time, They would have to bear the wrath of Patriarch Pegasus when they returned. This was purely the sacrifice of a stupid C***. Others had achieved their goal unharmed, but what about them? Not only did they lose dozens of Earth Celestials and Heaven Celestials, but they also lost their valuable flying machine. Thinking of this, the leader of Pegasus Planet, Lin Hai, looked at the frowning Shiman Feng and said, "Brother Shiman, this time we joined forces to intercept and kill them. Pegasus Planet's losses are really great. I hope Brother Shiman can make up for us." Lin Hai, are you kidding? We did not make such a promise before we joined forces to intercept and kill them. It's just that we have the same goal. Whoever loses will be unlucky. If it were us, we would be the same. That's right. The mission has been completed. Brother Shiman, everyone, see you later. Haha, we're leaving too. See you later, Brother Shiman. Chi. Immediately, the cultivators of the other 3 families left without hesitation. Only a fool would be taken advantage of. Compensate for their losses? They did not even have a contract with them. Dream on. Moreover, they all knew the value of a flying machine. The powerful Shiman family would never compensate them. Even if the 3 families shared 1/3 of the cost, it would still be a shocking amount. Not to mention, the Pegasus Planet's flying machine must have brought along many cultivators who were trying to understand the chaotic space. Lin Hai of Pegasus Planet looked extremely embarrassed, but there was nothing he could do now. Get on the Shiman family's flying machine. As for the losses, because we did not have a contract with them, you can only accept it. They will never compensate you. Let's go. Phew. Just as I thought. Inside the Silver Wing, the only intact detection system detected that the 4 flying machines, including the Shiman family, had left. Chun Hao heaved a sigh of relief. Then his eyes shone with a cold light. I'll activate it when I'm out of their detection range. I'll find a star fragment to land on and modify it with all my might. I hope you can fly fast enough. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. At this point, the real crisis had passed. There was no doubt that they had survived. After all, in the minds of the Shiman family, the Silver Wing and everyone on board had been destroyed. They just needed to get to the Yang planet slowly. At that time, even if they found out that they were still alive, they would not dare to attack him openly because they were restricted by the laws of the vast universe galaxy. However, if a dog bit him, would he just let go? That was not Chun Hao's character. If possible, he would at least kill the dog and eat its meat. But now it was indeed possible. The reason was very simple. When Chun Hao penetrated the Pegasus Planet's flying machine from head to toe with the super strong defense of the Silver Wing and used himself as a weapon, he had absorbed a large number of flying machine fragments. The materials collected from the Black Star fragment could not be compared with the materials collected from the wreckage of the Silver Wing. Moreover, they were more precious than the advanced materials of the Silver Wing itself. Chun Hao was confident that he could modify the Silver Wing even more. However, it would take time. It's a pity that I didn't dare to let Senior Brother gamble. Otherwise, with Senior Brother's Heavenly Celestial Stage Expert, the modification speed would be several times faster. Oh no, I have to inform Senior Brother. Thinking of this, Chun Hao was shocked. Although Heavenly Lord Yuanru was escaping with his soul, his speed was also very fast. However, Chun Hao's risk had ended their battle too early. If Senior Brother did not hide his aura, wouldn't it be terrible? I hope Senior Brother will land on the second world. Swoosh. Not daring to waste any time, Chun Hao appeared in a beam of white light in Yang City on World 2. As soon as he appeared, he melded into all of the living things in the area, so as to avoid being discovered. After sending several messages to Heavenly Lord Yuanru, Chun Hao breathed a sigh of relief. Now, he could only resign himself to fate and rely on Heavenly Lord Yuanru's luck. Beep, beep, beep. Senior Brother? To Chun Hao's surprise, as soon as he sent the last message, he received a communication request from Heavenly Lord Yuanru in his mind. Junior Brother, are you telling the truth? Heavenly Lord Yuanru's shocked and overjoyed old face appeared in Chun Hao's mind. At this moment, he was only a soul. However, after condensing his essence energy, and spirit, it did not affect him from landing on the second world. However, in the second world, he was only a soul. He did not have a real physical body. Second update: seeking subscriptions, monthly votes, and recommendation votes. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 547. Although the primordial spirit's flying speed was 100 times faster than the real bodies, it was only slightly faster than the enemy's aircraft. The advantage was not obvious, especially against the Shemin family's aircraft and the Black Rock planet's aircraft. There was no advantage at all. Moreover, the primordial spirit would also need time to recover from fatigue. This also meant that although Heavenly Venerate Yuanru had escaped successfully, it was hard to say what would happen if he was unlucky enough to encounter the enemy. In particular, Chun Hao's battle had ended too quickly and had not bought much time for Heavenly Venerate Yuanru. Therefore, whether it was Chun Hao, who needed Heavenly Venerate Yuanru's help, or Heavenly Venerate Yuanru himself, returning to meet up with Chun Hao was the best choice. Besides, Heavenly Venerate Yuanru's physical body was still being preserved by Chun Hao. If he could return in time, the damage to his physical body could be completely ignored. Otherwise, without the nourishment of his primordial spirit for too long, Chun Hao would still suffer some damage no matter how well he preserved it. As time passed, the damage would gradually increase. SSS. After returning to his primordial spirit, Heavenly Venerate Yuanru retracted all his aura and hid on a small star fragment that could be seen everywhere. According to Chun Hao's estimation, the enemy's aircraft would pass by in a day or two at most. Only then would he be able to fly with peace of mind and meet up with Chun Hao. Let's all take a rest. Everyone did well this time, although our silver wings suffered heavy damage. Fortunately, we are also out of danger. Out of danger? Brother Chun, are you serious? Instantly, everyone who was still immersed in nervousness looked at Chun Hao in surprise, doubting if they had heard wrongly. They had no choice. Originally, they had seen the enemy surround the silver wing from the display screen in the cabin. Moreover, the last terrifying tremor had been so strong that even the silver wing's protective restrictions had not been able to stop it. Moreover, the display screen in the cabin had disappeared a moment before the violent tremor. Everyone was extremely nervous and had no idea what was going on. Without the display screen, it was as if they were in a static sealed space, unable to sense anything happening outside. At this moment, Chun Hao, who had finally appeared in the cabin, announced that he was out of danger. How could they not be shocked? Of course, it was more of a pleasant surprise. Of course it's true. After Senior Brother's modification, our silver wing is very strong. Not only did we destroy the weakest aircraft of the enemy, but we also got rid of their tracking. However, we still have to repair Silver Wing as soon as possible. Therefore, after you rest for a while, you still have to cooperate with Heavenly Venerable Yuanru to the best of your ability. No problem. No problem. Too awesome. Empyrean Yuanru is truly formidable. We could survive. We could survive. It's like a dream. After surviving a calamity, everyone cheered excitedly. Even Bailey Ning Bing, who had a guilty conscience, revealed an expression of disbelief and joy. What did this mean? This meant that if the Shemin family could not fulfill the conditions of the contract with his grandfather, then the contract would automatically be canceled. Her grandfather and the other members of Limitless Palace didn't have to become slaves of the Shemin clan, and she didn't have to become Shemin Feng's Tao companion. I have to tell Grandpa about this, Bailey Ning Bing thought in her heart, and then entered the second world. Guan Nan Chao, who had been anxiously waiting for news in the second world, was shocked beyond Bailey Ning Bing's imagination when he heard the news. Although he was pleasantly surprised, it wasn't as pleasant as Bailey Ning Bing imagined. Especially after they met, Guan Nan Chao even asked Bailey Ning Bing about all the details, causing the old man to fall into deep thought. From time to time, he would mutter, "Impossible! How is this possible? This made Bailey Ning Bing extremely surprised. Grandpa, what's wrong? Isn't this good? Good, of course it's good. Lil Bing, this is the best ending. We don't have to be controlled by the Sheeman family anymore. Grandpa just can't figure out. Could it be that there's an expert helping us? Did Chen Hao mention anything? No. It's the effect of heavenly venerable Yuanru modifying Silver Wing. Guan Nanchao shook his head. He should be hiding it from you. Otherwise, it's impossible. All right. Since we're safe, Grandpa can rest assured. If there's any news, send it to me. Grandpa has to go do something. Oh, okay, Grandpa. Then I'll withdraw first. I still have to repair Silver Wing with all my strength. After watching Bailey Ning Bing disappear, Guan Nanchao paced back and forth in the room again, muttering to himself, It must be Chen Hai. It must be Chen Hai. How could I forget to consider him? That year, when little Xia fell in love with him, I wanted to take action and forcibly fulfill little Xia's wish. At that time, Limitless Old Ancestor issued a serious warning, saying that this person can't be touched. Even he didn't dare to touch him. This Chen Hao must have a deep background. Now, it's said that before Chen Hao, he had already left Limitless Star. Under such a dangerous situation, how could Limitless Old Ancestor not ask for help? Apart from this reason, the Sheeman family and others can't withdraw. Guan Nanchao had always been ambitious, so his understanding of Heavenly Venerable Yuanru was by no means comparable to Sheeman Luyuan and others. He didn't believe that Heavenly Venerable Yuanru had such a heaven-defying, refining ability. If so, how could Limitless Star's Silver Wing be so weak? Just based on Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's wholehearted attitude towards Limitless Star, it was impossible. Besides, if Limitless Old Ancestor was not good at refining, how could his disciple, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru, be able to do it? If all of this happened to Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's eldest senior brother and second senior brother, who often went out to train, he could still think that the two of them had obtained a great opportunity and might be able to do it. However, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru was in charge of Limitless Star Elite Academy and all of Limitless Star's affairs. He was basically stationed on Limitless Star and didn't go out to train at all. Therefore, it was impossible. Contact with the Sheeman family must be completely cut off. The contract is not valid, and they have to abide by the conditions after it's not valid. Naturally, they won't expose this matter. However, Old Ancestor and Heavenly Venerable Yuanru definitely know that there's a traitor. There's no doubt about this. I'd better go into seclusion for the time being. Thinking of this, Guan Nanchao sent another message to Bailey Ning Bing to emphasize this point, and then directly left the second world. Phew, there should be enough time. Let's go. Hiss. After hiding for 2 full days, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru was certain that the other party had overtaken him. Finally, he transformed into a streak of light and sped toward the destination he had agreed upon with Chen Hao. Hiding here, he naturally didn't dare to probe and couldn't detect the other party's movements. Therefore, he could only make an estimate based on time. According to his estimation, the other party should have overtaken him in a day. He waited for 2 full days, so was absolutely safe. In fact, in less than a day, the Sheeman family had already overtaken him and returned to the Yang Star. After flying for a day, Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's primordial spirit finally met up with Chen Hao and returned to his body. After the excitement, the two of them, as well as all the cultivators in the cabin, once again began to work intensely. The materials Chen Hao had obtained for the Pegasus Star aircraft were of a higher grade than those of the Silver Wing. Therefore, the process of refining and refining was skipped, which sped up the repair and modification process. Moreover, Chen Hao didn't need to comprehend any difficult runes anymore. He only needed to refine them according to the original runes. The same rune, but with different materials, could raise the Silver Wing's grade by several levels. The only difference was that this time, Chen Hao specially spent 3 days to install an attack system and drain the energy of Heavenly Venerable Yuanru 20 times to refine 20 black balls covered with complicated runes. Phew! Senior brother, it's all done. The original 20 times speed of the silver wing has become the basic speed. The speed that can be maintained for a short period of time has become 30 times. On the basis of the original modification, the defense has been doubled again. Now, even if we collide with the Sheeman family's aircraft, we have the absolute advantage. As for the attack system, swoosh. Chunhao proudly took out one of the black balls he had refined. Its diameter was only 30 centimeters. Junior brother, what is this? Heavenly Venerable Yunru looked at the black ball and asked in surprise. A bomb. A bomb that maximizes the power of energy. The same energy made into a bomb can explode with even greater power. It's so small. How powerful can it be? Although Heavenly Venerable Yunru felt that the complicated runes on the black ball were not simple, he doubted that such a small thing could have any power. The smaller it is, the more condensed it is. Senior brother, don't underestimate this ball. The energy in it is all the true origin in your body. It took you 20 times to refine 20 balls. Once it explodes, it's absolutely not inferior to Senior Brother's strongest ultimate skill, Chunhao said with certainty. This was the product of the combination of science and magical powers. Magical powers and magical powers could increase one's energy by several times or even dozens of times. Therefore, it could not be measured simply by the technology on Earth. It was also because of this that Chunhao did not speak too confidently. However, according to his estimation, it was at least 10 times as powerful as Heavenly Venerable Yuanru's strongest attack. Well, Senior Brother, it's time for us to fight back. Let's not let everyone in the cabin know about this. After all, it's too exaggerated. Moreover, I'm under your name, so it's embarrassing to make you too famous. Besides, the shape, color, and size of the silver wing have been completely changed. I believe that even the Sheeman family and the others won't know it's us. What's more, they think we're doomed. It doesn't matter. Senior brother, you've kept a low profile for so many years. Being a little high profile will make them hesitate. This is not a bad thing. Indeed, you can't be any more high profile. Heavenly Venerable Yuanru said with excitement in his eyes. Swish! The silver wing, which had completely changed its appearance, sped up by 20 times under Chunhao's control. It shot toward the Yang planet like a cannonball. Third update. Monthly votes and recommendation votes. Please support and subscribe. Thank you. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 548. Being able to maintain 20 times the speed and being able to turn 20 times the speed into normal flight speed were two completely different concepts. Looking at the scene on the display screen that was retreating at a terrifying speed and the small star fragments that were supposed to avoid being smashed and penetrated by the silver wing, Heavenly Lord Yuanru, who felt the power of the modified silver wing for the first time, was amazed. When he thought of the crazy ability Chunhao told him about, invisibility, Heavenly Lord Yuanru admired his junior brother even more. Invisibility was definitely a super incredible ability. It was also this ability that made Shimin Luyun and the others mistakenly believe that the silver wing exploded at the same time as the Pegasus Star's aircraft. If not, how could it escape the eyes of so many experts? Swish! The aircraft of the demonic ant star was only slightly stronger than the Pegasus Star's aircraft in this siege. After flying for more than 10 days, they had been left far behind by the aircraft of the Sheeman family, the Black Rock Star, and the Dragon Snake Star. Brother Huang, when we go back this time, no matter what, we have to apply for a more advanced aircraft from the demonic ant patriarch. This time, if our aircraft were not a little stronger than the Pegasus Stars, we would have been the ones to suffer. The aircraft of the Black Rock Star and the Dragon Snake Star are much stronger than ours. Do you think the Demonic Ant Star is weaker than them? Yes, it's time to change. This time, we have exposed that we are competing with the Black Rock Star, the Dragon Snake Star, and the Pegasus Star. Now that the Sheeman family is leading, the Black Rock Star and the Dragon Snake Star will not dare to act recklessly. But what about in the future? If they want to kill us, it will be very dangerous. That's right. It's better to be safe than sorry. The demonic ant star mainly relies on us to send disciples to the Yang star. I don't want any accidents. Fortunately, the Pegasus star took the lead this time, and we did not lose anything. Ha ha, another person said. The three celestial stage experts of the demonic ant star were drinking wine and chatting leisurely in the control room. They did not realize that a stream of light was approaching them at a speed several times faster than theirs. Moreover, they did not speed up to the limit. The window in the control room was open and only a transparent barrier was protecting them. This was also one of the purposes of their trip, which was to let the young cultivators of the demonic ant star comprehend the chaotic space and see if they could find an opportunity. Beep beep, target detected. Chun Hao and Heavenly Lord Yuanru opened their eyes at the same time when they heard the notification from the detection system. 5 million li. The detection range of the Silver Wing was still the same as before. After all, the material requirements for a detection system were much lower than a defense system. Target locked. Speed up. Rumble. Invisibility. Chi. Without the slightest hesitation, Chun Hao sent out a series of orders. After locking onto the target, the Silver Wing suddenly accelerated, instantly going from 20 times its original speed to 30 times its original speed. When it reached its maximum speed, it went into stealth mode and temporarily stopped all energy circulation. Relying on its terrifying inertia, it shot forward like a cannonball. Heavenly Lord Yuanru was an expert at the peak of the late-stage heaven celestial stage. He was extremely surprised when he saw the data on the screen and Chun Hao's precise instructions. Attack system lock on. Creak, creak. A huge cannon barrel that was 300 feet long quickly extended from the head of the Silver Wing. However, the diameter of the cannon barrel was only 30 centimeters. DDD, when it was still 2 million miles away from the other party, it indicated that it had entered the attack range. Huh, junior brother, why aren't you attacking? Heavenly Lord Yuanru thought that Chun Hao would fire at the precise time. However, to his surprise, this time, Chun Hao did not follow the instructions. Instead, he stared at the screen with bright eyes, as if waiting for something. Don't worry, distance and power are inversely proportional. The closer the distance, the more powerful it is. If we can severely injure the heaven celestials, that would be better. That way, it would save us a lot of effort to destroy their bodies. Junior brother, it's not that easy to kill a heaven celestial stage expert. There should be 2 or 3 heaven celestials among them. Even if we destroy their aircraft, I'm afraid it won't cause much harm to them. If eldest senior brother and second senior brother are also here, we could try to kill them. Heavenly Lord Yuanru said. Ha! Senior brother, just watch. The corners of Chun Hao's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a smile that was filled with confidence and evil charm. Even Heavenly Lord Yuanru, a heaven celestial stage expert, felt a sense of cruelty. Chun Hao never showed mercy to his enemies. 1 million miles, 800,000 miles, 500,000 miles. The Silver Wing, which had concealed all of its aura and was in stealth mode, was approaching the aircraft of the demonic ant planet purely by inertia. 200,000 miles, 10,000 miles. Speed up. Chi, chi, chi. Boom, boom, boom. 3 consecutive extremely violent energy streams gushed out from the tail of the Silver Wing. At this moment, the Silver Wing, which could no longer maintain its inertia, shot out directly. At the same time, its stealth mode was automatically canceled. 90,000 miles, 80,000 miles. The data displayed on the screen decreased rapidly. Beep, 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 beep. The 3 heaven celestial stage experts, who were drinking and chatting leisurely, looked at the screen in panic. Based on the beep-beep, the 3 of them understood that there was a huge star fragment that other aircraft or their aircraft could not withstand blocking their way. Moreover, it had appeared directly within a range of tens of thousands of miles. Otherwise, it would not have been so urgent. 10,000 miles. Launch. Boom. The silver wing, which was flying at high speed, suddenly trembled, and its speed was reduced by more than 10 times. At the same time, a bright, slender light streaked across the void like lightning. Heavenly Lord Yuanru could not describe how fast this light was moving. Whose aircraft is it? What is it going to do? Oh no! Watch out! At the same time, the three heaven celestial stage experts, who had just discovered that an aircraft was approaching them at a terrifying speed, did not have time to think carefully. In a horrifying shock, they raised their energy to the extreme, and streaks of powerful gang chi rose at the same time. Controlling the aircraft to dodge? That was a dream. Even an idiot would know that the aircraft, which had appeared out of nowhere, was definitely going to hit them. Unfortunately, in their panic, they ignored this slender light that was moving at an even faster speed. Boom, boom, boom. A terrifying explosion broke out in the chaotic space. Bright light and raging energy spread out for thousands of miles in an instant. The light even shrouded millions of miles. My body. No. Who is it? Who is it? When the demonic ant aircraft exploded, except for the three heaven celestial stage experts, the rest of them did not understand what was going on. They were swallowed by the terrifying energy and were directly destroyed in body and soul. Even though the three heaven celestial stage experts had condensed gang chi to protect themselves, the bodies of two of them could not withstand the terrifying energy and were directly destroyed. Their primordial spirits left their bodies. Only one of them, whose cultivation was the highest, managed to preserve his body. Chi, 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 dodge, hiss, hiss. The two guys, who were only left with their primordial spirits, and whose primordial spirits had been severely damaged, instantly dodged to the sides at a speed that only primordial spirits could achieve. However, the guy whose body was not destroyed could not dodge in time at all. He was directly hit by the roaring aircraft. If it was an ordinary aircraft, it would at most send him flying backward and bear a certain amount of impact. However, the part where the aircraft hit him was actually sawtooth like a cold sword. Nothing could be more tragic than this. It was a long story, but in fact, in a flash, the demonic ant aircraft was destroyed and the three heaven celestial stage experts lost their bodies. Run. The three primordial spirits did not even know who the enemy was. They only knew that the aircraft was definitely 100 times more powerful than theirs. They also knew that there was a real expert hiding in the aircraft, an expert who was absolutely invincible in the heaven celestial stage. Because that slender light was definitely the terrifying, unique skill of that expert. Because the moment their bodies were destroyed, they sensed the aura of the heaven celestial stage's true core energy. At this moment, who dared to stay? The three of them directly split into three directions and increased their speed to the limit without looking back. Even so, they were praying in their hearts that it was the other two who were chasing after them. Otherwise, they would definitely die. Capture, capture, capture. Under the control of Chun Hao, the Silver Wing quickly captured the fragments of the demonic ant aircraft and flew hundreds of thousands of miles in the sky. Fortunately, the material of this aircraft is not much better than the current Silver Wing. Otherwise, it would have been a huge loss. Chun Hao thought to himself. He had no choice. After using the attack system, after the aircraft exploded, the fragments scattered everywhere. No matter how fast Chun Hao captured them, he would still lose a lot. He could not waste too much time looking for the small fragments. He could only choose the bigger ones to capture. As for the three primordial spirits that had escaped, Chun Hao did not care. Even if he caught up with them, it would be impossible to kill them. After all, they only had one heaven celestial stage expert, Heavenly Lord Yuanru. Without an absolute suppression, it was impossible for Heavenly Lord Yuanru to capture the other party's primordial spirits. Precious armor? Just as Chun Hao was about to give up, a treasure armor that was flying at high speed but was shining with resplendent light appeared on the huge display screen. Divine artifact. Junior brother, it's definitely a divine artifact. Catch up with it. Heavenly Lord Yuanru, who was still in shock, saw the precious armor on the screen and said in surprise, "It must be something left behind by an Earth Celestial or Human Celestial stage cultivator." Ha! Junior brother, you've struck gold this time. When one reached the level of a Celestial Prime, as long as the primordial spirit was not destroyed, nothing would be left behind. However, if one's primordial spirit was destroyed, all the Dharma treasures on him would fall. However, in this terrifying explosion that could destroy the body of a heaven celestial stage expert, ordinary spiritual treasures, even supreme-grade spiritual treasures, would all be destroyed. Only Dharma treasures of the divine artifact level would be left behind. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.